Playing from Bliss's iPhone.
Peace, y'all. Ignore Alexa. Lord, oh gosh. Alright, give me 1 second, because this way is gonna be easier.
Oh, it's such a shame. Passenger, you're driving me insane. It's like taking a bullet to the brain, yes. Bullet to the brain, yeah. Causing all these memories to fade, all these memories to fade, yeah. The sun goes down, yeah. Things be feeling different now, yeah. Trying to stand out from your crowd, no. But I don't wanna wait around, yeah. While you try to figure it out.
Hey everybody. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. Oh babe, I have my necklace on. As usual, I always have this necklace on. The name of the song, this is my favorite song. I have to start it again now, you got me excited. The song is, let me type it here. This is my fave song.
Excuse my behavior. It's just that I get shy sometimes. And I don't know why. Yes.
Hey everyone. How's everybody doing? This is gonna be an interesting dialogue, which I'm actually looking forward to. So we'll see where the conversation goes. We'll see how the conversation flows. But just know it will be a very thought-provoking conversation, to say the least. I'm just gonna wait for a couple more people to join. Book that was chosen: Behold a Pale Horse. Bad boy book. There's so much information in here, and this book is like ahead of its time. So a lot of the stuff that is in this book has already taken place. I'm gonna light my little piece of Palo Santo. Have any of you read the book? Oh, I didn't even get the PDF. I didn't even check. You know, like that. Let me check now if there is one, and then I'll tell you guys where you can get it. I'm not sure. I don't think there is though, but there might be. But yeah, I bought this book maybe like 6 years ago. A long time ago. Ah, there is. So if you guys do want the PDF, hold on, let me type it here. PDF. And then just type it in there. Behold. Yeah, so just go to that website, go to pdfdrive.com, and then type in Behold a Pale Horse, and then it will have the free download there. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. I should really pin it, but I want my other one pinned. What is happening? Oh. This is what the website looks like. PDF drive. And it literally will download the PDF. I should have put the link in my bio, but sorry, I forgot. Mine's just loading. But yeah, I already kind of know what parts of the book I want to focus on. And I want to start with. Oh, my phone, yeah. This is my old phone, so the memory's not even that good. It's just being silly. But anyways, yeah, if you go to that website, pdfdrive.com, and then type in Behold a Pale Horse, then it will direct you. There should be a few links that have the downloadable book, and then you can just download it from there. But yeah, that's the easier way to do it. Oh, actually, I didn't want to copyright this because I wanted to put it on YouTube. So annoying. Is it copyright? Yeah, it's copyright. Damn. I might have to start this live again. Guys, I might have to start this live again. Because I didn't want copyright. Oh, God. Gosh. I'll be forgetting stuff like that. Damn. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Ray. Just cut the start of the live when editing. Ooh. You smart. You smart. Okay, cool. So, guys, today... that is a very good point. So, today, this is the book that we're going to be diving into. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. It's kind of basically what you'd call a conspiracy theory book. And it basically is ahead of his time, essentially. Quite a few of the things. Obviously, I haven't read the whole book, so I don't know what specifically or how much of what he's written in here has come to fruition yet. But a lot of it has. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of this book. Should we have a little backstory, right, on how I even came about finding this book? Because no one recommended this book to me. I found this book myself on the internet. So I've always been quite inquisitive from like early ages. I'm talking about primary school. Like I would go into school with like printed out papers of like Bloody Mary and just like weird superficial things, supernatural things, sorry. I've always been really interested in that. Just the alternative realities and alternative possibilities and just the unknown. So when I got to secondary school, do you know what happened, Jay? What sparked all of this? I think I was secondary school, college. Even in secondary school, the conversations were about like Illuminati, the Umbrella video of Rihanna, the Jay-Z videos. They were all like being dissected on the internet and on YouTube. So I got caught up in that world, in the Illuminatis. They control the weather. So I already knew all of these things, but like my conception was different. I remember there was this guy in my school, and he used to say that his uncle was a part of the Illuminati and that he could control the weather. And my friends told me that he was like, oh yeah, it's gonna rain tomorrow, watch. And then it rained the next day. So I've always just been interested in that stuff, right? So that whole episode of the Illuminati, the triangles, the symbolism, and just being able to really see certain things in the entertainment industry. I had a dream, right? I had a dream one day, random dream. I had a dream that Avril Lavigne was dead. So I woke up, I was very confused. Because I used to listen to her back in the day when I was younger, right? But, she wasn't really on the scene at the time that I dreamt about her. So anyways, I Googled, is Avril Lavigne dead? And then it came up with all this stuff about her being a clone and all of this palaver. So basically that she died, and then, you know, when they dive into like people being clones and like the dissection videos, they'll have like these clips to kind of prove where it was the real person and then when it was the clone. So all of this stuff started coming up about cloning. So I was like, whoa. Then I found out about Tila Tequila. I don't know if you guys know Tila Tequila's story. Her story is kind of like her personal experiences being like under these cloning, these consciousness cloning facilities and areas, like her experiences from like firsthand. So I started to listen to her, and then I came across B.O.B. Bob, however you refer to him, the artist, the American artist. He started to speak about cloning and just bringing light to things that go on in the entertainment industry, not even just specifically the entertainment industry, but things that just happen behind the scenes that are being told in films and are being told in symbols, in music videos, but we're just not catching on. We just don't have like the correct spectacles to see. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, then that's how I kind of got into like flat earth theory and all of that stuff. And yeah, then I kind of went into like a big wormhole. But that's kind of where the cloning things and the UFOs and started to come from, and the reptilians, all of that stuff. So this was a good 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think this was before I was even vegan. No, it wasn't. It was like it was around the same time when I had like my awakening, to be honest. So anyways, then what happened? Then I guess I came across this book. I don't know if B.O.B. recommended it. I don't feel like he did, but he definitely knew about it. Then I came across this book and William Cooper, and I was like, okay, let me get this book, because I just felt like it could explain some things that I maybe didn't understand, and I just like reading. So let me just invest into a book that I maybe wouldn't usually find or come across without knowing some background information of it. So I don't know if you guys have heard of this book. Yeah, I don't know what was in the water in 2014, 2015, but it was something, because I was interested in everything. Like, I studied everything. Like, that was the point for me where everything just came into like full circle. Started learning about everything. And even Area 51 and what else? A whole heap of things. People getting abducted by aliens. And just really learning that I kind of learned how we were taught it, or how I understood it when I was younger, and how I understand it now. It doesn't necessarily align. So what I would think an alien was when I was 14 or 12 is not what I understand an alien to be now. Do you understand? So it was literally just like putting on the correct glasses and really being open to understanding things from different perspectives. Like, an alien doesn't have to look like big green head, big black eyes, you know? Even mermaids, like, oh my God, I was just obsessed. Yeah, maybe there was something in the water around these times. I do not know, but that for me was definitely my shift in consciousness. And then it kind of sparked my journey. So with that being said, this book is a very difficult read. And it's a difficult read because there's not really any breaks in the writing. It's all like literally like this, pages of this. And it has at the beginning, it has the chapters, and then towards the end of the book is the appendix. And the appendix is basically where they just slap all the information that is too much for the reader to digest. So this is where all the articles are, all the information that doesn't necessarily flow with the text is all at the back of the book. So I'm going to try to do my best to like read, but it's going to be a lot of information. So yeah, mermaids. There was a documentary that I watched about mermaids and them finding like real mermaids and just what their bodies looks like again, and it didn't look like the beautiful, you know, beautified mermaids that we think, you know, Ariel. It didn't look like Ariel. They looked like some weird mashup shark, fish, something with a tail, human, something. They look very weird. But again, you have to be open to like having the perspective of, okay, this is what I knew what it was when I was 12, and now that I'm 20 years old, I can see things from a different angle, so they can still exist. But yeah, am I taking a vaccine? No. The mermaid stories. Listen. So yeah, I thought a good place. Yeah, they're like human half. They look weird. They look very weird. But I be loving stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna start with secret societies and the New World Order. I'm gonna try to sort of pick out parts that make sense, that paragraphs that are sort of conclusive. Because like I said, it's a lot of information. So page 64. Yeah, I feel like this is a reference book more so than a book that you just read from like front to back. Secrets, societies, and the New World Order. And we all have heard of the New World Order. I feel like as a general consensus, we can agree that we're like practically living in the New World Order right now as we speak. I got the book on Amazon. Yeah, it should still be on Amazon. By the way, this man has died now. He died in 2001. If any of you guys have information about how he died, feel free. I heard he was assassinated because, oh yeah, in fact, sorry, let me put some context into who this guy is. William Cooper, as I said, also known as Bill. Bill Cooper, former United States Naval Intelligence Briefing Team member, reveals information that remains hidden from the public eye. This information has been kept in top secret government files since the 1940s. His audience hear the truth unfold as he writes about the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the war on drugs, the secret government, and UFOs. Bill is a lucid, rational, and powerful speaker whose intent is to inform and empower his audience. Standing room only is normal. His presentation and information transcend partisan affiliations as he clearly addresses issues in a way that has a striking impact on listeners of all backgrounds and interests. He has spoken to many groups throughout the United States and has appeared regularly on many radio talk shows and on television. In 1988, Bill decided to talk due to events then taking place worldwide, events which he had seen plans for back in the early 70s. Since Bill has been talking, he has correctly predicted the lowering of the Iron Curtain, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the invasion of Panama. All Bill's predictions were on record well before the events occurred. Bill is not a psychic. His information comes from top secret documents that he read while with the intelligence briefing team and from over 17 years of thorough research. So yeah, so guys, if you want to read along, go on pdfdrive.com and then type in Behold a Pale Horse and you guys can read along. Oh my god, you was born in 2001. Oh my god. What? Are you like 10 years old? Oh my god, Nick, you were born in 2001. Oh my god, you lot are young. Oh my god. So yeah, if you guys want to quickly download that book, you don't have to really download it. It kind of downloads itself. The PDF, and I'm gonna be on page 67. 2001, girl. Oh my god. So this book is moving like the first ever copy because it's very in this weird condition. But anyways, we move. So, oh no, this is the wrong one. Look at me. This is chapter 1. So we're on I'm going to be on page, what did I say? 67. Yeah. So secret societies and the New World Order. Oh gosh. All right. I'm going to read this page. And we'll see where we'll get. We'll see if there's any things that we can spark a conversation off of. History is replete with whispers and secret societies, accounts of elders or priests who guarded the forbidden knowledge of ancient peoples. Prominent men meeting in secret who directed the course of civilization are recorded in the writings of all people. The oldest is the Brotherhood of the Snake, also called the Brotherhood of the Dragon, and it still exists under many different names. The Brotherhood of the Snake is devoted to guarding the secret of the ages and to the recognition of Lucifer as the one and only true God. If you do not believe in God, Lucifer, or Satan, you must understand that there are great masses of people who do. I do not believe in racism, but millions do, and their beliefs and actions based upon those beliefs will affect me. It is clear that religion has always played a significant role in the course of these organizations. Communication with a higher source, often divine, is the familiar claim in all but a few. The secrets of these groups are thought to be so profound that only a chosen, well-educated few are able to understand and use them. These men use their special knowledge for the benefit of all mankind. At least that is what they claim. How are we to know, since their knowledge and actions have been secret? Fortunately, some of it has become public knowledge. I found it intriguing that in most, if not all, primitive tribal societies, all of the adults are members. They are usually separated into male and female groups. The male usually dominates the culture. Surprisingly, this exactly resembles many civilized secret societies. This can only mean that the society is working not against established authority, but for it. In fact, could be said to actually be the established authority. This would tend to remove the validity of any argument that all secret associations are dedicated to the destruction of properly constituted authority. This can only apply, of course, where the secret society makes up the majority or the entirety of any people which it affects. Only a very few fall into this category. Secret societies, in fact, mirror many facets of ordinary life. There's always an exclusivity of membership, with the resultant importance attached to being or becoming a member. This is found in all human endeavors, even those which are not in secret, such as football teams or country clubs. This exclusivity of membership is actually one of the secret society's most powerful weapons. There is the use of signs, passwords, and other tools. These have always performed valuable functions in man's organizations everywhere. The stated reason, almost always different from the real reason for the society's existence, is important. It can be anything, but is usually fraternal and is found in all pressure groups wherever people congregate. Did a black guy write this? No, this is William Cooper, which is a white man. So yeah, basically he's explaining how secret societies essentially are formed. Oh my God, Ray! Please, I can't. The picture I just opened, my friend just sent me the mermaids. But yeah, so he's basically breaking down the fundamentals of what it means to make a secret society. He pretty much just said, usually the men and women are separate. The secret societies are usually dominated by men, etc., etc. And he compared it to like football teams, country clubs, etc. Just the same formats. Correct. And also he mentioned about questioning the agenda of these said organizations. They can claim to be for the benefit of everyone, but that is definitely debatable. So let's go. Of course it matters. Oh no, so he didn't say that he doesn't believe. Oh yeah, he did. When I read that as he doesn't participate, like he doesn't, not to discredit that racism exists. I took that as he isn't racist. That's how I read it. That's how I read it. But if you guys read it differently, that's interesting. Let me read it again. I do not believe in racism, but millions do, and their beliefs and actions based upon those beliefs will affect me. Yeah. What do you guys take from that? Interesting. Based on who wrote it will determine the narrative makes sense. He's going to try encourage misinformation. From he said dominated by men. He lost me. The original secret societies were run by women. Well, I'm only going based on what we have in the book. So yeah. Nate, did you... Yeah, I took it like that. I didn't take it like that, but that's an interesting perspective, I guess. Yeah, while you reply, Nate, I'm going to carry on reading. The comradeship is especially important. Sharing hardships or secrets has always been a special thrill to man. No one has ever undergone the rigors of boot camp. Oh my God, there's like oil on my face. No one who has ever undergone the rigors of boot camp is ever likely to forget the special feeling of belonging and comradeship that was shared between the victims of the drill sergeant or company commander. It is an emotion born of initiation. The most potent tool of any secret society is the ritual and myth surrounding initiation. These special binding ceremonies have very deep meaning for the participants. Initiation performs several functions which make up the heart and soul of any true secret society. Like boot camp, the initiation into the armed forces, important aspects of human thought that are universally compelling are merged to train and maintain the efforts of a group of people to operate in a certain direction. Initiation bonds the members together in mysticism. His information is correct. It's like Western historians trying to claim Egypt. I only mentioned it because why the brother asked race matters. Yeah, I don't think I necessarily agree with that. I definitely I haven't heard that the secret societies were run by women. I don't deny that they were run by white families, but I don't believe that they were dominated by white women. And that's based on history and just the information that I know, observations that I have made. So basically, he's kind of just breaking down what a secret society is and how you would be, just the process of joining one. And we kind of know, we see it, especially in American films, when you're kind of initiated into specific groups. So like, what's them sisterhoods called? When they have like the secret sister, not secret, but they have like the sister circles and the sister, what are they called? You guys know what I'm talking about. So basically he's just explaining the fundamentals of a secret society. What he is saying is true. Men do dominate societies, and even when he compared to normal life sports, yeah, women do not start this crazy shit. Oh gosh. It's interesting you say that, because while that's probably true, another perspective is that white people have this info and can't really use it, so they're giving it back. Eastern Stars, Daughters of the Eastern Star. Listen, it's not, okay? Let the people talk. If you watch Brother Panic series on how to die and not come back, he mentioned this. Oh, brother who? Brother who? Yeah, but I feel like you lot are going too far back. Like, let's just deal with the information that's being presented. Yeah, I don't feel like we need to go back. Where what we're speaking about is, let's just take it, he was a member of the secret society, and this is his story. Better Panic or Brother Panic? Which one? There's a lot. Exactly. There's a lot we don't know. So imagine this is like a drop in the ocean. Eastern Stars is the Women's Society of Masons. Brother Panic. Yeah, who's Brother Panic? Yeah, Nick, you said Brother Panic. And Gus said Better Panic. So yeah. Neophytes gain knowledge of a secret, giving them special status. The ancient meaning of neophyte is planted anew or reborn. A higher initiation is in reality a promotion, inspiring loyalty, and the desire to move up to the next rung. The goals of the society are reinforced, causing the initiated to act towards those goals in everyday life. That brings about a change in the political and social action of the member. The change is always in the best interest of the goals of the leader and the secret society. The leaders are called the adepts. This can be best illustrated by the soldier trained to follow orders without thinking. The result is often the wounding or death of the soldier for the realization of the commander's goal, which may or may not be good for the overall community. Yeah, I'm going to check out Brother Panic. Oh, okay. I'm going to check him out. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Nick. Thank you for sharing that, Nicole, because you brought that to the conversation. So you guys following? So you will notice that the higher the degree of the initiation, the fewer the members who possess the degree. This is not because the other members are not ambitious, but because a process of very careful selection is being conducted. A point is reached where no effort is good enough without a pull-up by the higher members. Most members never proceed beyond this point and never learn the real secret purpose of the group. The frozen member from that point on serves only as a part of the political power base, as indeed he has always done. You may have guessed by now that the initiation is a way to determine who can and cannot be trusted. So what I take from that is who can and cannot be submissive. It's kind of like, if the information is limited, if I'm in a group of people and I can clearly see there's a hierarchy, right? There's a leader, and then there's the person that kisses the leader ass, and then there's sort of the other person that kisses the person that kisses the person's ass above them. If I can gauge that there's a hierarchy and I understand that those two people below that person at the top don't have the same access and the people at the bottom don't have the same access as them, it's kind of like everyone is going into these groups with their own agendas, but not really realizing what they're getting into in its full totality, and are essentially pawns in a way. Like, because he said, right, this can best be illustrated by the soldier trained to follow orders without thinking. So if you're not thinking for yourself, then someone else is thinking for you, and your actions are being influenced by someone else's thoughts. Yeah, like jobs have interviews, right? So you have your own agenda when you go to apply for these jobs, when you go for an interview, but your role in your head may not be what the person interviewing you's role for you is. Does that make sense? Even though you may, like, on a surface level have the same agenda, but deep down it may not be in alignment. Yeah, higher ups are privy to... So everyone in that situation has their own thing to gain. But because you're being kept out the dark, you have like a blind spot. That's where the manipulation comes in, and that's where the using comes in. And that's where you become essentially disposable. And then when you do find out too much, you know, it may be to your detriment. Just because a man is a Freemason doesn't mean he fully grasps Freemasonry. Exactly. So even, yeah. Damn. Higher ups are, yeah, definitely. So, did I read this? Yeah, so a method of deciding exactly who is to become an adept may be decided during initiation by asking the candidate to spit upon the Christian cross. Ooh. And I just want to interject, right? Have you guys seen the documentary on Netflix called The Family? If you guys have seen it, put emoji or something, or just comment if you've seen it. And I interject with that because a lot of these organizations utilize Jesus specifically and utilize Christianity specifically, and obviously westernized Christianity. But the family really emphasizes Jesus more so than God and the whole, the whole nine of Christianity. And when I watched the family, that made me understand what Kanye is doing, because he really emphasizes on Jesus. Whenever you hear him speak about Christianity, he really emphasizes Jesus. And basically in the family, they've taken excerpts out of the Bible and just have a book called Jesus, and they basically follow the teachings of Jesus and how he lives his life, and they use it to their own benefit. So it's definitely an interesting documentary if you've seen it. But yeah, that made me, as soon as they said spit on the Christian cross, I was like, yeah, this is like definitely a repeated pattern. If the candidate refuses, the members congratulate him and tell him, you have made the right choice, as a true adept would never do such a terrible thing. So clearly they value Christianity and essentially Jesus and just that whole the whole nine of religion. The newly initiated might find it disconcerting, however, that he/she never advances any higher. If instead the candidate spits upon the cross, he or she has demonstrated a knowledge of one of the mysteries and will soon find him or herself a candidate for the next higher level. The mystery is that religion is a tool to control the masses. Definitely watch the family, because this is what is mentioned in the family. Essentially, they use Jesus as a tool. Oh my God, it's so good. I don't think I've even finished it, right? And they speak to some ex-members as well, because even that is like a little cult. It's like a little organization. Again, the mystery is that religion is a tool. The religion is but a tool to control the masses. So they're not even seeing religion in the way that, regular people are, or people that are not in the secret societies are. Then, because if you speak to a Christian now, God-fearing, strong Christian, 30 years, and you say, is Jesus a tool? Do you use religion as a tool? They're going to be offended by that because they're not perceiving it in the same way. So I guess, it's literally all down to perception and to control the masses. Definitely watch the family. Knowledge or wisdom is their only God, through which man himself will become God. The snake and the dragon are both symbols of wisdom. Lucifer is the personification of the symbol. It was Lucifer who tempted Eve to entice Adam to eat of the tree of knowledge, and thus free man from the bonds of ignorance. The worship, a lot different from study, of knowledge, science, or technology is Satanism in its purest form, and its god is Lucifer. The secret symbol is the all-seeing eye in the pyramid. So let me read that again. It was Lucifer who tempted Eve to entice Adam to eat of the tree of knowledge and thus free man from the bonds of ignorance. It was Lucifer who tempted Eve to eat the apple. The worship, so he's really emphasizing the worship of knowledge, not the study of knowledge. The worship of knowledge, science, or technology is Satanism in its purest form, and its god is Lucifer. Its secret symbol is the all-seeing eye in the pyramid. So I guess that's why, in a lot of the music videos, in entertainment, just in mainstream media, the eye is constantly perpetuated. The pyramid in the eye is constantly perpetuated. And also, it's on the American dollar, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there not a pyramid and an eye on the US dollar? Correct me if I'm wrong. I've never understood the apple as knowledge. That's interesting. So, let's get into it. Undesirable effects of secret societies and their aura of mystery has sometimes given them the reputation for being abnormal associations or, at the very least, strange groups of people. Whenever their beliefs are those of the majority, they are no longer considered antisocial. A good example is the Christian Church, which was at one time a secret society under the Roman Empire. In fact, the open, friendly secret society, the Vatican, actually ruled most, if not all, of the known world at one time. So we could all agree, we all know where these things have come from, right? But they're obviously not, they've been taken and used in different ways as tools, essentially. Right? I actually have the Da Vinci Code book as well. I want to talk about aliens though, but we'll get to that. Maybe we should do a Da Vinci Code. We should do a Da Vinci Code. So we all know where everything, started from. We all understand that. We're all on the same page with that. But what we're dealing with is people that have taken these symbols, that have taken these traditions, that have taken these rituals and sort of demonized them. And use them to their benefit. Let's talk about aliens. Okay, cool. Let's get through this part, and then that's what I had next anyways. UFO, aliens, alien implants, and Area 51. But I digress. So most secret societies are generally considered to be antisocial. They are believed to contain elements that are not liked or are outright harmful to the community in general. This is exactly the case in some instances. Communism and fascism, why can't I say that? Fascism are secret societies in many countries where they are prohibited by law. In this country, the Nazi Party and the Ku Klux Klan are secret societies due mostly to the fact that the general public is disgusted by them. Their activities are sometimes illegal, thus the secrecy of their membership. The early Christians were a secret society because Roman authorities considered them from the start to be dangerous to imperial rule. The same was true of the followers of Islam. At least some of these true believers, working in secret, accomplished what they would turn out to be, for the eventual good of society. The Drusid and the Yazidis, the Drusid and the Yazidis in Syria and Iraq consider the Arabs a dangerous secret society dedicated to the takeover of the world. The Arabs today think the same of the Jews. Catholics and Freemasons used to have precisely the same ideas about each other. In many primitive or backward societies, initiation into the highest degrees of the group involved subjection to trials which not infrequently resulted in death or insanity of the candidate. It can be seen that social right and wrong is not the yardstick in estimating the value of a secret society. In Borneo, initiates of hunting societies consider it meritorious and compulsory to hunt heads. In Polynesia, infanticide and debauch were considered essential for initiation into the societies, where the tribal code needed members who indulged in these things as pillars of society. So I guess technically, because basically he's kind of just saying any association that wasn't public was considered antisocial. Whenever their beliefs of the majority, and when you don't have the beliefs of the majority, then you were considered antisocial and therefore a secret society. And then he kind of explains the difference between that and also actually being a secret society because your views are just disgusting. So yeah, so people at the time, he's basically saying that people at the time all didn't believe. You know how we live in a country that is predominantly Christian. We're a Christian we're a Christian country. So now things have changed, right? Where Christian believers are the majority, and for example, let's say Nation of Islam would be considered, you know, technically kind of a secret society. Do you understand the example that I'm giving? So yeah, I guess the question is, why and how did it switch from being the minority to the majority of the country? And I guess the US is predominantly Christian country as well, right? So where was we? Yeah. So let me read this last paragraph and then we will go to, this is what I'm saying, there's so much. Like, he's even having to break down what the definition of a secret society is. Like, this is a lot. This is a lot of information. So last paragraph and then we'll speak about aliens. And then if anyone wants to come on and speak about aliens with me, feel free to do so. So, since the beginning of recorded history, governmental bodies of every nation have been involved with maintaining the status quo to defend the establishment against minority groups that sought to function as states within states, or to oust the constituted authority and take over in its place. Many of these attempts have succeeded but have not always lasted. Man's desire to be one of the elect is something that no power on earth has been able to lessen, let alone destroy. It is one of the secrets of secret societies. It is what gives them a political base and lots of clout. Oh my God, they be using clout. I thought clout was a modern word. Anyways, members often vote the same and give each other preference in daily business, legal and social activities. It is the deepest desire of many to be able to say, I belong to the elect. Houses of worship and sacrifice existed in the ancient cities. They were in fact temples built in honor of the many gods. These buildings functioned often as meeting places for philosophers and mystics who were believed to possess the secrets of nature. These men usually banded together in seclusive, philosophic and religious schools. The most important of all these ancient groups is the Brotherhood of the Snake or Dragon, and was simply known as the Mysteries. The snake and dragon are symbols that represent wisdom. The father of wisdom is Lucifer, also known as the Light Bearer. The focus of worship for the Mysteries was Osiris, another name for Lucifer. Osiris was the name of the bright star that the ancients believed had been cast down onto earth. The literal meaning of Lucifer is bright bringer or of light, or the morning star. After Osiris was gone from the sky, the ancients saw the sun as the representation of Osiris, or more correctly, Lucifer. And then it has like Bible quotes. The Bible quote saying, Osiris was represented by the sun. How art thou? That's Albert Pike. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Isaiah 14:12. It is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. Is the Wusa? This is now called the Illuminati. What, the Brotherhood of the Snake or the Dragon? I want to quickly Google that. Is that what you're saying is the modern day Illuminati? Because he said that they may not be called the brother of the snake or the dragon anymore. They may be called something else. So they very well may be called Wooser. They very well may be called the Illuminati. So yeah, do you guys understand the analogy? About Lucifer and Osiris basically being the same person essentially, right? Or the same energy or entity. I want to read that again. The most important of all these ancient groups is the Brotherhood of the Snake or Dragon, and was simply known as the Mysteries. So the Mysteries, the Illuminatis. The snake and dragon are symbols that represent wisdom. The father of wisdom is Lucifer, also called the light bearer. The focus of worship for the Mysteries was Osiris, another name for Lucifer. So the focus of worship for the Mysteries was Osiris. So they worship the sun. This is what I'm understanding. Osiris was the name of a bright star that the ancients believe had been cast down onto the earth. The literal meaning of Lucifer is bringer of light, or the morning star. The morning star, the sun. Am I? After Osiris was gone from the sky, the ancients saw the sun as the representation of Osiris, or more correctly, Lucifer. Okay, so they're saying that there was a star, and then after the star disappeared, the sun replaced the star, and then that was the representation of Osiris. Right? Saturn was the sun. Okay. Right? Saturn is Satan. Interesting. Right? Osiris was represented by the sun. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? It is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. What do you take from that? It is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, so Lucifer being the entity, the star, however you want to understand that, fell from heaven. So let's use Saturn, right? So Saturn gone, and now the sun came. He brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. Does anyone want to break that down? Because I don't really understand that in its totality. So if you guys know what he means by that, it is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. How are you guys interpreting that? Yeah, but what's the analogy for? That's what I'm asking. Jesus and Lucifer are the same. Oh my God, what is happening? Apparently the elites worship Saturn now, and there used to be a hex underneath it. Prometheus, he allowed mankind to think for themselves. Temptation. Well, Samson, you can come alive. You can come alive. Yeah, listen. If anyone can explain this analogy, do you know what? I'm gonna Salim, if you're not busy and you want to come, because the people don't want to know. I want to know. Okay, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because Fred, this is a quote from Fred Gittins, Symbolism in Occult Art. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry to draw you out, but I feel like you'd have good input. So you heard what I read, right? About he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind. So how did you interpret that?
So, I guess you need to break down the words. So break down, say that paragraph again. He brought down the thinking.
It is claimed that after Lucifer fell from heaven.
Okay, so we need to understand that what the fall from heaven means. So if you fell from heaven, what does that mean? Does it mean heaven is a place, or does it mean heaven's a state of mind? If you go by heaven is a state of mind and you fall from that, that means you're in a fallen state. They describe man as being in a fallen state in the Bible. So we can work with that. So if you read the next bit, it says,
he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind.
Okay, so he brought with him the power of thinking. To me, it sounds like he's what it means is that I guess the power of I'd not say choice, but the power of
free will.
Yeah, free will. Yeah, so the power of free will. They say like Adam and Eve, when they went into the garden, Lucifer, like the story of Adam and Eve is interesting because if you read the story, it talks about God speaking to Adam, but somehow the snake heard what God and Adam were talking about, or Adam and Eve they were the only two in the garden, but somehow there was a third party that heard what they were talking about. So was the snake always there, or was the snake part of man? Was it an imperfection in man, and it just manifested itself? So I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm just gonna let people get their own conclusions from it. So when it says that, what was that thing you said? The snake or mankind? He convinced mankind to think.
He brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind.
Yeah. So this is what, if we look at the world today, is the way things are set up and the way we sort of the way we interact with things and the way we go outside of our thought pattern is that things come in our straight path and they come as like suggestions. So to me, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it came as a suggestion. He gave him the power to think as in a suggestion, because certain things naturally we would never think to do that. We would never think, like, if you've watched certain films, you'd think, how did that person come up with something as violent or as vile as that? So certain things naturally, there's certain people that would just never, the original people of the earth will never think to do certain things. It's always mankind, like a kind of man. So we need to understand he's referring to mankind. He's not referring to man. A man and mankind are very different.
He's referring to a specific kind of man.
Yeah. So he's not, because if
not original.
I think the pale horse is referring to the Bible. It's all about the biblical thing. So in the Bible and in the Quran as well, it talks about two Adams or two types of men. It says there's one man that God made, and there's another man that came up, a mankind that was he was born from the quickening of dust. That's what I think it refers to in the Quran. It says the quickening of dust. So that is the mankind. And then you notice that when people speak on TV, they always refer to mankind, like mankind's first step on the moon. It's not man's first step on the moon. Mankind discovered this.
One who stepped for mankind or something like that.
Yeah, one who stepped from
one who
stepped from, So it's always mankind. You need to understand what is mankind or who is mankind. Mankind refers to the unoriginal imperfection of man, I think. And then, so what's the last bit of that paragraph that you put in?
Yeah, he brought with him the power of thinking as a gift for mankind.
Is that it? I thought it was more.
But that was just a little quote from Fred Gitty. Symbolism in occult art. So it was just that sentence that I didn't understand. I wasn't able to interpret it in any way. And then before that, from Isaiah 14:12, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Yeah. To me, and what I've been taught and what I understand is that heaven is just a state of mind. It's a state of being. It's not something in the sky. It's not a place we'll go to after we die. It's a state of mind. And also I've heard that heaven is referred to as the when heaven is cut off, they say earth suffers. So I guess to me it's just a state of mind. I'd say heaven is just a state of mind. It's not. So when it says Lucifer represents to me that's the negative side of human beings, or the negative side of man. And that process was grafted out, and then you've got this unalike man walking around who's given power and opinion to rule.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. See, this is why I knew to get you on. But yeah, I feel like everyone caught insight on that. I'm gonna add someone else in because someone else wanted to come in. But thanks again. I appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great explanation. Kaz, I mean, I don't promote driving, but you don't have to show your face. You can put your phone on the side. Shay Boogie, where are you? Because you said you next. And then after we deal with this, then we'll get to the aliens and we'll get to the good stuff. That was a great, thank you, Samson. That was a great explanation. Kaz, I wanted to read. I wish I wasn't driving at all right now. I would come on with you. There are actual beings, then there is myth and there is history. Have you heard of Credo Mutwa? He was an African shaman who explains. Is Shay Boogie in the chat? Shay Boogie. Let me send this to them. Kaz, you want to come on now? I'm going to send you a request. And then if you accept, that's great.
Peace. How you doing, sister?
Hi. Are you from the States?
All right. Huh?
You're from the States. Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from the States. I'm from New York.
Okay.
Yes. All right. So, I was listening on this topic is right up my alley. Let me tell you real quick before my family gets in the car, right? So, Credo Mutwa, he explains he's a Zulu shaman, a Sanusi, and he's had contact with what they call the Chitauri. Chitauri are what people know as aliens. As reptilians. So, the history that he gives, it was passed down through him through, some kind of Zulu secret society. But he says the story is common in all parts of Africa about these reptilian beings who brought some kind of knowledge to humans, and they use trickery. Like, if you listen to his story, it sounds similar to the biblical account. Okay. So, like, you have to, like, this is the context I learned this in. I was reading the Bible when I was younger, and then I came across Credo Mutwa. I came across what David Icke was talking about. I read something from a man called Phil Schneider. And I read the Behold the Pale Horse, back like early 2000s. But putting those all together kind of helped me to understand what we're dealing with them. Like, Credo explains that these reptilian, the Chitauri, basically they tricked human beings and they tried to have us worship them as gods, okay? So we have this traditions going back of human sacrifice, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen these traditions, these blood sacrifice. They say that these traditions are sacrificing to the Chitauri. They drink blood, and that goes into, the whole adrenochrome stuff that you see going on now with the elites. Allegedly, these Chitauri, these are the people or the beings that founded the original bloodlines, the so-called Illuminati bloodlines, or whatever you want to call these families. They're found all over the world. The levels of kingship, the way, there's certain things you see all across the world as far as the hierarchical structure. It's very common in different places around the world, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason for that, and that's because it comes from a common source, according to them, So, like, when you hear about the Bible, like, there's so much that I couldn't even squeeze it into this small conversation with you. But when you know what I'm saying? But I was saying in my comment, like, there's certain allegories, like, okay, have you heard of the Anunnaki? The Anunnaki, that's the Sumerian legends. If you read the Sumerian legends, they're similar to what Credo Mutwa talks about. If you read, those are the Sumerian Babylonian legends. If you read about them, they talk about the Anunnaki. That's what they call their gods. Those who came from heaven to earth, basically, is a rough translation of it, right? So the Anunnaki, if you read it from the perspective of the people, they say, oh yeah, these were gods and we worship them and they came down, they helped us out, and the gods warred with each other. They fought with each other. There's a book, the Lost Book of Enki. It's a translation of that same account from the perspective of the so-called gods, from the Anunnaki. And they're like, we came to earth, we did a science experiment, we needed to extract gold, we needed a slave race. Completely different, but it's the same exact story. It's not from a religious, dogmatic perspective. It's from the perspective of a so-called God who came to do a job, like real scientific type stuff. no myth, no allegory involved. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, I get you. I've heard of the word, I've seen the word, I've not ever heard it. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
Naki written before.
Yeah.
All of what you
And
said.
yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people in your chat and who are listening to this are familiar with what I'm talking about right now. You know, so it's like depending on what perspective, like the text you were reading, it seemed like it came from a Christian perspective.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to see what lens these stories are being told through as well. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Have you read the Book of Enoch?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
That's another one, the Book of Enoch. For one thing, a jewel for people to understand, to overstand. The Book of Enoch is like, it's 5 books. Traditionally, you see 3 books, but the only place that the 5 books were preserved was Ethiopian Orthodox Church. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church is the place that preserved all 5 books of Enoch. And so when you read those books, the account is similar to what you find in the Emerald Tablets with the Anunnaki. It's similar to what Cradle Mutwa says. So we have to dig within all of these texts to really comprehend what's going on. And one last jewel I want to drop you because I think my people are about to be here. Phil Snyder. Phil Snyder, he talks about the Anunnaki. He's right up there with Bill Cooper. They got Phil Snyder too, but he is somebody who is talking about this phenomena in modern times. And he could give a lot of insight into this conversation. I just want to drop that on you real quick, sister. I appreciate what you're doing. I think you're excellent.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you
All
for
right, sister.
yeah.
Peace.
Dang, that was a lot of information. So Shay Boogie, I requested you earlier. Hold on, I need to charge my phone. Are you ready to come on, Shay Boogie? And then yeah, but you guys seem to know a lot of stuff. I really haven't tapped into this. Oh my god, my charger. To this energy in a very long time. All right, I'm on 20%, so that's fine for now. Since my charger is just not covering. Shay Boogie, let's go. I know, right, Nate? That was amazing. You guys are very smart. I'm definitely gonna do some research as well. At some point.
Hey girl, what's
Hi.
happening?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Sorry, I
Um,
jumped out of the live and I tried to start doing my uni work again, innit? And then I was like, oh, she want me back. So I guess I'm not doing my uni work no more.
But yeah, what did you want to add? I feel like you have quite a lot of insight.
I was just so you were just talking about the Anunnaki. So I don't want everyone to necessarily think that the Anunnaki were necessarily good people. Like obviously everything's about duality. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's good and there's bad. Do you get what I mean? In absolutely anything. A lot of like this, I don't want to say the word because the live will probably get cut, but them man, innit? A lot of them man that we see today, this has been going on for years. Like literally, this is in their bloodline. Like even Boris Johnson, he's half Turkish, dates back to the Ottoman Empire. Like you can trace back these people's bloodlines. You can trace back. I was on a podcast the other day and I was saying, bro, you know Beyonce is related to the Queen, and everyone's like, what? And I'm like, bro, go and Google it. Like the internet is free. All of these people are connected. They all marry into each other. They all keep their bloodlines strong. She's related to the Queen through her French side. So obviously, you know, Beyonce's mum's Creole. So when the French settlers, we'll call them settlers, but we won't get into what they actually were. Like everyone knows well gone in it. But anyway, so when all the French settlers came over to America, everyone was called Creole. Absolutely everyone. Didn't matter if you were a slave owner, if you were a slave, if you were French, you were Creole. Then obviously Creole people were getting kind of like pushed to the side almost. So they didn't like it. Like the white people were like, well, hang on, why are we getting treated the same as our slaves when we're better than them, better than them, blah, blah, blah. This is where Cajun come from. And this is why in the South you have Cajun and you have Creole. So you'll tend to see that the darker skinned people are Creole and the lighter skinned people are Cajun. This is where all of this stems back from. So when you trace back Beyonce's Creole side, it all dates back to I really want to say King Louis, but it might be someone else. But it's some kind of French king that had bare kids, was on bare badness, and he made these children go to different parts of like Europe, say. So you'll look at, say, where's another place that has a royal family? The Russian royal family. They'll be related to our royal family. Now, when you go back, you can see that the royal family are all even imposters. They're not who they're meant to be. They're not of royal blood. Like, no way. The real royal people are just walking around not even knowing who they are until they trace back their bloodline. Yeah. She ain't meant to be no queen. Look at what she does. Look at all the bullshit that they do to kids and stuff like that. She ain't no queen. She ain't meant to rule no land. Come on, let's be honest. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. Back in the time where we had queens and we had kings and whatnot, the king and the queen were the first people out at war. They were the first people. Do you get what I'm saying? It weren't none of this sending troops and fucking up other people's mental health. The king would go because the king knew that he had a reason to war, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of these bloodlines tend to stem back to like not very good people, and they've been in power for a very long time, all while Saturn's been in Capricorn, but that's another thing. We'll talk about astrology another time. And what's about to happen on the 21st of December, going into the age of Aquarius, and how them man are gone, finished, finito, out of here, see you later, no coming back. You're gonna have a very serious conversation with God, innit? Them man there, finished, done. And this is why all of this has happened now, because people actually had to sit down in their yards and understand what is going on, whether it's with vaccines, whether it's eating healthy, whether it's what's going on with kids, what them man do to kids. Like, people have actually had to sit down and deep what's going on. Do you get what I mean? Because if they had dropped this whole, I'll do that just so everyone know, I don't want the live to get cut in it, but if they had dropped what they're trying to drop now, right at the beginning, a lot of people would have taken it. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they would have been none the wiser. But now people have had time to sit down, and God's been working with people, God's been waking people up. Less people are going to take that now. Do you get what I'm saying? A lot of people are waking up to what is actually going on, and it's such a beautiful time to be alive. It is so, sometimes I'd be like, oh, why did I pick to be here? Why did, like, this world is actually mad. I'm so different from this world. Why did I pick to be here? Now I get it. I get why I'm here, and I'm in this bitch, innit? So, wow.
Yes, what? Listen, you just dropped a whole heap of information.
Literally.
Yeah, what's happening on the 21st of December?
So 21st of December is going to be the Great Conjunction, okay? So this is where we're going to see every planet in alignment, okay? So every single planet is going to line up. And that is going to, what's going to happen is it's going to, the frequency of Earth has been going up and going up and going up and going up. This is why more people are starting to wake up. This is why I think certain things are starting to come out, because the Earth's frequency is going up, going up, going up. If we actually looked at the Earth's frequency now, compared to like this time last year, it's crazy. And this is why people are getting sick, because we're literally getting all the bad stuff out. All of the bad stuff out. It has to go. It has to go. It will come out in mucus. It will come out in physical form. Like, do you get what I mean? All of the bad stuff is starting to exit from the world as a whole. It's not just in us, but in order for the world's frequency to go up, our frequency has to go up. Do you get what I'm saying? Some people will get left behind. Some people might be still stuck in the 3D, innit? But when December 21st happens, just make sure on that day you are in the best mind state that you can be. Try and stay outside so you can get all of them downloads from the sun, all of them downloads. If you're into fasting, fast for the day. And don't just fast with water, dry fast if you can. I'm not pushing people to do it, but if you can dry fast for that day, I promise you, your downloads are going to be mad. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's good. The energy is just going to be rolling in the atmosphere for the however long now. Do you get what I mean? We're just seeing the beginning of the age of Aquarius. So we're setting the path, really.
Yeah.
you know. So
I got
yeah,
goosebumps.
really.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, December 21st is gonna be like, we might even see a solar flash. We might be lucky enough to see that. Do you know? Who knows what we're gonna see? Who knows? But it's not gonna be bad. Like the beginning of this year, people were acting like the sun's going to explode on the 21st, and I've had to tell people like, bro, God is not a fucked up you. Like he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't wake up this amount of people in that small space of time to just take it away from everyone. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
Right? So that's how I feel. But
Everything is just been in alignment, like just even just how this year has just happened and just fun, and you know, it's literally been like type of vibes that everyone's gonna make it to the promised land, and not everyone's meant to, not everyone's made to, you know. So the fact that this is happening this year as well, and at the end of the year, kind of like it's like a cleanup, like you said.
literally, it's a cleanup. The world has to, the same way we get like mucus and stuff, or we might get autoimmune or whatever. The earth is the same. We are just beings of the earth. So the earth has been having autoimmune disease with these bastards for how long, causing absolute carnage to children as well, like to children. Do you get what I'm saying? The stuff that they do to kids is not, it's beyond paedophilia. I say this all the time when we're talking about the Jimmy Saviles and stuff like that. We can't call them man paedophiles. It's deeper than that. This is ritualistic murders. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not, a paedophile is someone that has child porn on there. Do you get what I mean? The people that are in prison for paedophilia are completely different to the Jimmy Saviles. Completely different. Yes, okay, cool. They might have some in the same demons running with them, but what this man was doing was sick. It was twisted. The Obamas, the Hillary Clintons, all of them, man. I'm sorry. If I know about the stuff that goes on with kids, yeah, what you think these rich bastards don't know what's going on with kids. And I'm sorry, if you're not speaking up about it, you're just as sick as the person that's doing it. In fact, you are worse than the person that's doing it, because you know exactly why you are not doing the same thing.
Yeah, you have
You get what I'm saying? Or worse, because you know why you're not doing that shit, but you won't speak up about it. That's a fucking child.
See, I mean, I know things from like a surface perspective, but I don't know like in depth, you know.
Yeah, no.
I haven't done extensive research.
Yeah, no, the kiddie stuff, like I've worked with that kind of stuff. Do you get what I mean? So I have my own perspective on it. Do you get what I'm saying? But a lot, like they were taking children from care, they were taking children just off the street. Like we have, 8 million children currently being trafficked. Currently. 8 million. And that is just the children with birth certificates. Think about the children that in Thailand, whatnot, that don't have no paperwork.
Exactly. These, oh my
8
God.
million children. Like what?
That's disgusting. Hold on, sorry.
And these are trafficked for their blood. These men like to drink blood. So what they do is they scare the children, and they start to release this chemical called adrenochrome, and it gives like these. So a lot of these older stars, the Celine Dion's, the all of them, you think that they look young because they've had Botox. Botox don't work like that. If you've had that amount of Botox, your face starts to look like this. These men are young from drinking. Like they drink pineal glands and like it's bad, the stuff that they do, but then they do the science experiments on the children as well. Do you get what I'm saying? Of course they want to drink the children's first diet, because children are the closest thing to God. Do you get what I'm saying? So even spiritually, this makes a lot of sense. Now, they have to do experiments on these children, drug up these children, do all kinds of experiments on them. They'll crossbreed these children with animals and stuff. Like it's the stuff that they do with these they've even got like, they will kidnap people and traffic people to literally just bear child for them to kill. So person doesn't do anything but get pregnant and bear children for these men to kill. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's one case over here called the Hampstead case, where it's 2 children talking about, and they're young as well. They're like 5 and 7, and about how their dads are Satanists and all the stuff that they do at school, and all of the school are in on it. Yeah. I'll send you some of the stuff after. Like the Lambeth, so everyone have a look at the Shirley Oaks case and look at Lambeth's involvement in that, look at Labour's involvement in that as well. How many police officers got dropped from the case? How politicians got off with it? They were raping kids underneath Brixton Police Station. Like, they had an S&M room underneath Brixton Police Station. They were taking children from different, like, yeah, it's not a joke. People killed. Some guy got killed trying to speak out about it. One police officer, which had pure information about this stuff that was going on, got dropped from the case. They had intel, like proper intel on people. All of it got, like, information was lost in a fire. This happened, that happened, da 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 da. For it all later to find, they all found out later that it was true. Lambeth, it got so bad with the compensation that Lambeth said, if we put you, we don't care if you got abused or not in it. If we even put you in the care of about 8 different care homes, they're giving you money in it, because they knew what was going on. They had 80 paedophiles in one care home, and they knew every single one of them people was a paedophile.
Oh my God. Sorry, your live is delayed.
Mad.
Shay, but I heard everything. Yeah, it's just started to glitch. Unsurprisingly.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, the shit that they've been getting away with for...
Oh God. It just cut. Oh my God. I can't even deal. Humans are just like, or should I say that kind of man? Literally, lock off, done. Damn, guys. That was a lot of information. I don't know if she's gonna come back. Listen, Nicole, yeah, there was times where I tried to repost something that said Black business in the title. Instagram did not let me post that for like 24 hours. They've censored my lives. They've cut me off of lives a few times. Oh God. Yeah, she needs to, hopefully she comes back and she can share her resources. But yeah, Instagram, like, don't think you're too anything to get censored. They're not even allowing me to run promotions on Daughters of the Yam. They've completely stopped promotions on that. I'm not allowed to do anything. I'm not allowed to promote on that page. There's disagreeable beings in the earth. Everything ain't sweet. Yeah, even today, like, I'm trying to post something about colorism. It's not letting me post it. I'm just like, ugh. Yeah, man. This is why it's important for us to unite in a real life, you know? So let's go on to, hold on, I need to be very careful because my charger. Yeah, man, this is why we have to connect in real life, people. Get people's phone numbers, emails, you know? Oh, she's back. Yeah, she's back. It's connecting. I feel like they're just...
Hey,
Hi.
girl. They try to kick me off.
Listen, I know.
Have I frozen again? I'm not doing this.
It's got like the spinner.
I'm frozen, innit? I can see it. I'm putting a really ugly face.
Oh gosh. I mean, we can hear you, but they've just like paused your face. Oh. But yeah. All right. So Shay, do you want to just message your stuff in the chat? Yeah. We'll do it again when they're not trying to conspire against us, because we've been dropping a lot of stuff today, a lot of information. But I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and sharing that. I think we all took a lot from that, and it's a lot of seeds, so we can now go and do the research. Nitara, do I use crystals or does Shay use crystals? Yeah, the 21st of December, because I've seen people talking about this and I'm like, what is happening on the 21st? But I'm glad that you brought that up, so now I'm aware. Damn, I didn't expect this live to be like this. God damn. All right, so we'll fast forward to the aliens. Does anyone else want to join? If you want to join, just request on the topic of this, and then if not, we'll move on to the UFOs, Area 51, alien implants, etc. And I actually watched. I've been watching so many documentaries on Netflix. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. I watched a documentary on Netflix called Area 51. I don't know if you guys have seen that. And basically, these people tried to go to Area 51, and they basically got rejected. Okay. Guys, we have another person coming on. We are the aliens. Oh. Ace, I was supposed to request you actually. We are the aliens. And I think we have to define aliens. But let me find the page. The Geneva Convention, I've heard of that. Page 397. So these are more sorry, Dobolo. I tried to request you, but yeah, I don't think you're speaking on the right conversation. What is Area 51? Essentially, it's just a place in America where you're not allowed to go. You're not allowed to go past. If you go past, you'll basically get shot for trespassing. Yeah, he's trying to have a different conversation. I'm just like, what is happening? Please, guys. 397. 397. Here we are. So, actually, this is not 397, but this is a picture. UFO seen in 1948 over Mount Rainier. This is a picture in the book. I guess that is the UFO. That is a mountain. So that's the mountain, and then that's the UFO. Listen, I don't make the stuff out. This is not my picture. This is just what is in the book. My book is looking messy. Because I don't know. I need to because I be preying, but then I'm like, sometimes people be having fake pictures. I'm like, what is happening? And then built by Northrop, McDonnell Douglas, and General Electric, stored at Notion AFB and Edwards AFB, flies out of Area 51. Stay relevant. I accepted your request, by the way. So this is something that has flown out of Area 51. I don't know what you would call this. This looks like a Robot Wars type of robot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I guess at the top, you can't really see. There's like these two seats. They look very experimental. And then there's a platform. And then I guess the bottom, alien reproduction vehicle. That's what it's called. So you can see the top. They're like two seats. Very strange. I don't know what that could be used for. And the name who drew it is blurred out. Photograph courtesy of Gary Schultz, alien reproduction vehicle in flight over Groom Lake. And then that's the two, I guess, unidentified. Well, I guess that's their drawing. Check out what happened in Roswell, New Mexico back in the early 90s. Extraterrestrial and a craft crashing. I hope you guys are taking all this information down. So what did I want to read? What page did I say? 397, right? I had dreams about being in a spaceship and traveling through time on alternative universes. Interesting. All right, so this is about UFOs and Area 51, right? This is June 13, 1987. So I'm in the appendix now. So these are letters. These are documentations of letters. So this says, although I missed your very recent radio and TV shows, a friend suggested that I write this letter and share my information with you. I am a 50-year of age engineer that has worked in the private sector as well as with the government. From 1975 to 1980, I was involved with several investigations having to do with ET material, so extraterrestrial material. Even though the project was very well covered, I am still very much surprised that Project Pluto and results have not surfaced yet. Inasmuch as the project was handled by others, there was no question that the government was still in full control. For security purposes, Project Pluto had 5 levels. Those who investigated one level had nothing to do with the next and would only turn in the results of data of these findings to the next level, then go into another area. So this kind of mirrors what we were saying earlier about, even though you're in the society, you may not have access to all of the information within the society, right? No one that I knew ever had the result of 2 levels at the same time. There was only one very rare exception to the rule, which took place in 1975 and was in fact my very first assignment with the project. I was employed by a non-government firm that of course was directly involved with the government and probably fronted for them on the projects. I would assume that eventually government records could be made available to the general public, but not from the private sector. I'm not really sure. In any event, several others and myself were rushed to a rather remote place in upstate Pennsylvania. Do you guys know which part of America Area 51 is? If you guys know, then please type it in the chat. We were informed that everything was top secret and had to remain that way. We were even housed in a hotel close by, and security people were assigned to us. Some type of aircraft had crashed in this area, and the government felt that it would be easier and faster to do all of their investigation right there rather than to move the remains of the wreck and whatever evidence the soil may contain. The wreck site was rather difficult to get to. However, we turned it into a construction site, clearing the area and building 2 small and 1 very large metal prefab buildings over and around the wreck. Heavy equipment, materials, and workers were flown in and out on a daily basis. We were moved from the hotel to some mobile homes that were brought in for us, and many more top-level people who joined us. I might add that the local people who still lived some distance from the site were led to believe that a large private corporation was preparing to build an electrical power supply for the area, but it was off limits to everyone in the area. We were some of the first ones on the scene, other than lots of security people. The wreck had already been covered by a very large canvas blankets, and large nets were tented overhead to protect the site from any possible air traffic. I did manage to get a very good look at the wreck on several occasions. My first thoughts were that it may have been an experimental aircraft of our government, or perhaps the government of another. It was later suggested to us that it was a new type of aircraft of a foreign government, and it was a super hush-hush project. The aircraft was nothing like I have ever seen, as probably ever will again. Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada. The crash site was also something quite different. The distributed soil was about 100 feet in diameter, although the craft was much larger in length. I only saw what appeared to be about 2/3 of the rear end, and even that was about 10 feet below the surface. When it crashed on about a 30-degree angle, it pushed all the earth back away from the craft itself, almost as if a hole were made first, and then something half the size was put in place. Do you guys understand what he's saying? Yeah, so he was involved with an investigation to do with extraterrestrial equipment, material, He was hired via non-government. He was hired via non-government bodies that was directly involved with the government. So the mission was top secret, and they basically had to use a cover-up so people would avoid going to the area. So they hid the extraterrestrial material under some blankets until they built over it, and then said it was basically corporation doing some sort of corporation thing, some works, right? And many people were brought to the site to do the works. What else? Yeah, he'd never seen anything like it before, and he probably never would. He realized that he probably never would again. And he said that it was like there was a hole in the ground and the thing was stuck in the hole at a 30-degree angle. Yeah. Let's read. You have to coat your spaceship with melanin or it will burn up. Ooh. White people gonna travel and buck into more black peoples. That's interesting. IG block a lot of my comments. Look up the Glock machining that was being developed in Germany, then moved to Poland, but is now here on a military underground base. At least that's the word, you know. Brother Panic said black people with red hair are from Mars. Ooh. I never heard that one. I need to look up Brother Panic, because who is this guy? So he's written a whole leap of letter, you know. This is like a 4-page letter. So obviously not gonna read all of it. To think I understand why they're trying so hard to get to Mars now. Mars has pyramids too. Ooh, this is getting deep. Oh my god. So my best thought of this rather strange hole is that some kind of magnetic field had pushed all the earth away from the craft at impact. Oh. It was reasonable to assume that I was looking down at the rear end of the aircraft. So the head was in the earth and then the bum was out. Where was I? Yeah, there was nothing to indicate that it had any kind of engine as we know it, not even one little opening. I don't really like to use the term cigar, but since I could not see the front part, it certainly appeared to have one shaped like a large cigar. That is my best description. It was a craft from the foreign government. If it was a craft from the foreign government, then we are in big trouble. I actually held one small portion of the wreck in my hands. Incidentally, there was only a very small reading of radio waves in the area. The area was quite safe. There was, on the other hand, a great deal of free magnetic energy in that area. It was very difficult using our instruments. It was very difficult just to establish the correct time. Every wristwatch was in a different time. So this thing was messing with the energies and the radiation and all kind of electrical stuff that's going on. So he said every wristwatch was at a different time. So, he also said that white people adopt black people so they can connect to their spirits in the afterlife. Oh my God. That's very scary, very eclectic. Yeah, I'm going to check him out. This piece of physical evidence that I held in my hand was a material that I really can't identify. It may have been torn from the front of the craft when it crashed. A few of us compared thoughts as to what it might be, but no one was really certain. None of us had ever seen anything like it before. It was about 1 square foot and about 1 inch thick. It weighed almost nothing, and one had the feeling that it may blow away if you let go of it and the wind increased. That's interesting. Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper Nestro. It was the same color and texture of the large portion, so it was safe to assume that it was part of the shell of the craft. It weighed nowhere near enough to be any metal that we had ever seen. It even weighed less than any plastic that I had seen of similar size. I tried to scratch it with a pocket knife and even cut away a small piece of the edge, but the knife did nothing to it. The surface was clear as glass and stronger than anything we had ever seen. It was like trying to scratch the surface of glass with a feather. Of course, we had to turn it into the security people. Dr. Phil Valentine at the UFO conference. Yeah. That's what I meant when I said they're giving the knowledge back because they can't use it. Exactly, because I always think like this is obviously information, you know, that is not of a great threat. And I just think like the stuff that we do know, just think about the stuff that we don't know. You know, that's how I see it anyways. Where was I? It was the same color and texture of the large portion, so it was safe to assume that it was part of the shell of the craft. It weighed nowhere near enough to be any metal that we had ever seen. Oh, I've read that already. Yeah, security people. After the site was secure, the first groups that included myself were taken away. There was a very thorough strip search prior to us being given jumpsuits and put into a truck for the transportation to awaiting planes. Yeah. We were taken to another area and debriefed before we were allowed to return to our normal way of life. About 3 months later, a few of us returned to the site to remove the buildings, fill up the hole, and generally put back the area into the same shape it may have been prior to the crash. We went through the same type of security search and debriefing as we had done the first time. Whatever was left of the craft had been removed and sent to, and then it just has unknown. Almost 1 year to the day, I was sent to another crash site. Everything was a repeat of the first time, except that there was 6 of us. 4 of us were part of the first crash site and the 2 other were new. This time the aircraft was buried so deep into the lower side of the hill that we could not get a good look at it. So what are you guys like? What are you taking from this? What do you think this is? Because I have no idea. I don't have the slightest idea what this is, aside from, you know, an unidentified flying object that has been in the ground. I mean, are these crashes intentional? Are they being like, you know, propelled, shot into the earth? Are they just like testing out their, whoever they are they testing out, you know, their stuff and then they're just not caring that they're just landing in earth? Like, what is it? Is it just them? Like, what is it? What do you think it is? Sound like they were test training. I'm presuming all of these aircrafts landed in America. Yeah, this is in Pennsylvania. This space that they're talking about. I don't think this is in Area 51. Because you guys said Area 51 is in you said Area 51 is in Nevada, right? Las Vegas. Yeah. Several others and myself were rushed to a rather remote place in upstate Pennsylvania. I mean, there's like different types of American accents, so it depends. These UFOs could have issues flying in the universe. Yeah, so do you think they were like who's they? Who's flying these things? And why are they flying them? Where are they going? Are they going to the shop? Are they planning their like who is they? Who is they? Who is controlling these things? Could it be them trying to connect and let us know they're out there? Yeah, could this be like a symbol? And why the second crash? Where was I? This is really interesting. I don't even know why I said that because I don't even know the differences. I just know the New York accent and Texas and down south Mississippi. Is that Texas? Yeah, that's Texas. I don't know Georgia accent. But I digress. So, yeah, I read this one. The security arrangements were just about the same, and we constructed similar buildings around it. It was very close to a rerun of the first crash site. Only this time we were told, as a matter of fact, that it was a top secret experimental aircraft that had crashed. I could, however, manage to see the rear end of the craft. It appeared to be the same type as the first. The code name of the project was Pluto, as it was the first also. Incidentally, that was in upstate New York in 1976. I do not know if there were any people or life forms aboard. You see in Men in Black, the aliens that live in a locker that we use in a lab. This is their lab. It's a simulation. You see in Men in Black, the aliens that live in a locker. I haven't seen it recently, so I'm not gonna remember off the top of my head. Exactly. So you're saying the aliens in the Men in Black. Can you guys explain what the aliens are in Men in Black? Because not everyone has watched Men in Black, and I don't have a recollection of that. I believe those ETs are engineers for travel, not originals from the planet. And does anyone want to jump on with me and speak about the aliens? Just send a request or I'll request you. But yeah, because I'm struggling to like materialize this. Who's driving the ship? How can the ship crash and there's no one inside it? That's very strange. Like what, and why can we even see it? You know, because there's things that exist that humans cannot see. There's things that dogs can see that humans can't see. Do you understand? So why can we see these things? What do you understand? Okay, Gus, they were inside it. So are they invisible? In Men in Black, there are a group of aliens that live in the locker there. World. What if his consciousness controlled? Yeah. Gus, can you see the request? Because I'd be connecting with people and it's just lying. Oh, okay. Hi.
Well,
You're
right. I'm right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling like I'm in school again. Oh. So yeah, what's your take on what we're talking about? It's a lot.
Right. With Roswell, what I think is, I don't know what they were doing there, but I feel like with so much was going on, because you have to remember, yeah, when Germany lost in the war and that, yeah, a lot of their scientists have gone over to America. Like once Nazi got disbanded and that, all their man, they've gone to America and that now. So all these American scientists now, they're working with this new technology that their man are working with, the Nazis. I don't know if you know about have you ever heard about like Hitler and what he was like kind of into in that, but he was all right, so Hitler, like, he had a lot of operations and stuff going on. There's one thing called the Real Society. That's like VRILL. Yeah, my guy Nate, come on. Look into them, yeah. So this is just like one organization, and they were dealing with like occult things in it. So it was like a society full of women, yeah, and they're telling the women, don't cut your hair, grow it out long, and you know, we're trying to, what they would say, they're trying to, you know, the Aryan narrative that they're going with, right? Yeah, that So they'll say they're trying to be like these people, aliens, and they're saying aliens live inside the earth,
Mm-hmm.
under the earth, hollow earth. I don't know if you know about that, but they say there's smarter people, high intelligent human beings who live on the ground. So when they start dealing with these anti-gravity technologies and that now, there's a brother who goes by the name Animal Bird, and if you look into him, he talks about going to the North Pole and entering through some sort of repository, some hole, and there's people in there. And with all this technology now, again, like, I don't know if we would call them people aliens, but there's people down there, according to certain people who work within these institutions, who have this mad technology. And yeah, so I don't know if you would call them aliens, but some people would. So obviously, with that being said, now it's like you said in it, to distinguish what even an alien is. What is an alien? Because someone else said it, like on the chat, bare people, like man and mankind. So you have all these variations of Homo sapiens walking around. How can we account for these variations? Me personally, I think obviously something has sort of interfered with the human genome, obviously, in it, the original man, if you want to call it, quote unquote. So all these variations now, you could probably account some of that to alien interference. You get it? If I me a black man and I get me a black woman and I procreate, and I'm not talking about albinos in it, because even if I albino as a child, you're gonna end up having a black youth. But yeah, basically in it, I feel like the aliens, whoever it is, that's what is sort of the reason why we have these variations in humans. But yeah, so that's my take on that still. But the Roswell thing specifically, I can't account for it because I think it's a bit funny, innit? But there's so much notoriety around that area, but no one's really seen anything. There's little things, we hear things, they make films and medias on it, but yeah, like they're up to something there, but I don't know if it's aliens.
Oh yeah, well, Area 51.
Mm.
Yeah, I think there's just so much. Like, there's just so much, and my thing is, because obviously in the book right now, he's obviously speaking about the crash, but then I said, well, where were the people or the aliens or whatever you want to call them inside the mobiles, the whatever they're called, the materials, the
Devices in it,
spaceships,
yeah, whatever you call them.
because obviously, I'm a human, so like realistically my thoughts can only really go as far as like my human brain can comprehend. So that's what I'm saying, why can we see them things? Like there's just like so many questions. Like that's what my question was as well, like who was driving them? Like, and it's hard because we've been like forced to believe the aliens look a certain way and they act a certain way and they talk like, so it's hard to remove that like mythicalness from them and really like look at them from a different perspective. Like, you have to really look beyond like what we can understand as humans, and that's hard because we have human brains. So it's just like, what? But someone said about consciousness, TV definitely brainwashed us, because as soon as you hear the word alien, you think of that green thing with a big ass head, and he's got no genitals, he's got this skinny ass body, and they're just doing their own thing. Like,
if there's one thing I'd say that when I think about aliens or extraterrestrials, and you look at like ancient civilizations, one thing you see a consistency with, like someone said about the I think it was you quoting it about the reptilians, like, so you talk about lizard worship, serpent worship, or dragon worship. What I find interesting is outside of Africa, there's mythos about dragons. I've never really heard no myths from Africa about dragons, but in America, you got Quetzalcoatl, feathered serpent. That's in like, is it like Mayan? Is it Mayan mythos? So the Mayans. So even in America, you got dragons. In Europe, you got dragons. In Asia, you get dragons. But in Africa, there's dragons. There's the stories of these serpents. So I find that very interesting. But it's giants, innit? That's the thing I think of. That's a consistency. And
Giants.
that, I think that giants.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's going to say Anunnaki, innit? That's what people say that Anunnaki are. They're like humans, but they're just much bigger than us. And you know, some people say the lizards, some people say they're black people. You know, you get all different types of things. So.
Yeah, see, that's my understanding and how I learned about them via the history that I learned, not in school, like outside of school. Them being like 7 foot, 8 foot, you know, having big hands, and there's actual imprints of their, let's say, like handprints and stuff to kind of indicate their height, to confirm their height. Because for me, I mean, I'm an earth sign, so I'm a Capricorn, so it's like I really have to materialize things and have like a specific amount of evidence for me to really understand something.
Right.
But yeah, and then that sort of, when I think of that, I think of like Yakub and like, you know, them man being associated with
Like,
reptilians because he had a big head.
yeah.
And, you know, that's as far back as I have gone with all of this like extraterrestrial stuff. As far as Yakub. Yeah, I need to look into these people that people have spoken about recently.
See, Enki and Eli, Enli, something like that, innit? Enki and so they're like brothers, and that's the Anunnaki story, innit? They talk about that man. The man come down here and they saw. So the thing they say is that they saw a man, a type of man, and they basically took him and upgraded him. How they upgraded him, yeah, that's I don't see it. But they've done something to my man. They made him smart as a result. And again, it's the same story, even in Bible. Someone find man, and through some sort of intervention, man becomes small, but that wasn't part of the original plan. But it's through some intervention, man becomes small. Maybe too small for his own good. You know what I mean? He starts fasting himself up with things. Someone mentioned the Book of Enoch as well, and again, it's the same thing they talk about. When God cast down the angels come down here and they start teaching them how to do things, how to forge weapons, adorn themselves, all these things that they say that we've been taught by other entities that came down here. So it's all interesting, isn't it? There's a sort of consistent pattern still.
It's a lot of information. It's definitely a lot. Oh my god, I didn't even know this conversation would like go into the direction and everyone would share so much information. Like I've learned so much, you know, and I haven't exactly, and I haven't tapped into like this topic in years. Like I haven't. There's just so much. There's so much. So I haven't had time, but now I'm learning all of these new things. It's like, whoa, it's a lot of information. They tamper with human DNA. Oh my god, even deal was too much. Even like this. So this is aerial view of Groom Lake Area 51. Even because my understanding as well, going back to what you said about apparently this is an aerial view of Area 51 and the lake Groom Lake / Area 51. Obviously you guys can't see it that well, but just to put some
that's another interesting thing. It's near a body of water, innit? That I find interesting. This is a bit off topic, but when you think about all civilizations, innit? All the, I won't say the great ones, but all the ones that seem to have a impact in history of bringing people together from, they're always by the rivers, innit? So you've got River Nile civilizations, you've got what's the other river? The Nile, Tigris, you got the up in India, the I don't know what that one's called, I forget. But it's the same thing. The Indus Valley in it. The Indus River. So it's always these you get now in Washington, even down here, you get outside Parliament and Big Ben and but there's always a body of water in it. Always like a river or something. So again, that's interesting, isn't it? So,
that is why. Do you have an idea of why you think that is, or that's just an observation that you've made?
Um,
Oh.
I feel like they're definitely. They talk about man's origins comes from water. Still, that's one thing that I hear. But I don't know, man. There might be a lot of reasons why. I've got my theories, I've got my ideas, and but they're just more like hypotheses more than anything.
Mm.
But they say a lot of what we've been taught, like credo. People talk about credo. The brother that came on here, these things come from the water. They come out, they give man something, and they go back in the ocean and whatever. So I don't know. Maybe they're paying reverence to certain spirits or entities or people by putting
Damn.
them things there. I don't know. That's just my sort of hypothesis in it that I'm not even conclusive with. It's just an entertaining idea. Idea that I entertain over. But I don't
Yeah,
know. So
because just even like the ocean and just like the depths of it and just the mystery behind it, like just as humans, obviously without like interference, we can't go down so deep. Do you know what I mean? So there's so much underworld that exists that we don't really know about, which I think is just so bizarre. And it's like there's people that know like there's people out of like humans that know a depth more so than like the general public and know what's down there to an extent, but even like what they probably know is not even a smidge of what is actually in existence. We are water beings.
well,
Ooh,
with
seaman. Ooh, that's
the
a
flood that
word.
happened, what did she say?
He said seaman, like seaman.
All right, yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. No, he's right. So, but what you're saying about the ocean and that, obviously, they talk about a flood that happened. This is more so like in Americas and like the Caribbean that you find it interesting. That there was something going on there in it, and the remnants of that obviously is what you're gonna get with them small pockets of islands and that. But there's a very there's a reason why their man they went to America and decided to set up this new world order in the new world there. I don't know what's going on in America, but for me, there's an ambiguity in America. You know what I mean? That the other colonists don't have. Like, no one could really talk about America prior to them man arriving there. You know what I mean? Like we could talk. We know there were universities in Africa. We know there were universities in Europe and Asia. No one can tell me about anything that's going on in America. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems to be alien activity seems to be mostly in that area.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Sorry.
That's cool. Yeah, I was saying alien activity seems to be mostly in America from what we hear. Maybe that's just because of the media that we're exposed to and everything. But yeah, got the Bermuda Triangle as well. You know what I mean? That's another interesting place. That just things seem to go way down there. They talk about alien activity. There might be something down there. I don't know. But yeah.
Damn. Well, thank you for coming
That's it for
on.
aliens. More than welcome. You know what I mean? Share my little bit and that. Every man came in and said something interesting. So I have to say something.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Blitz, for holding the thing in it. Holding the stage.
This conversation has been very interesting to say the least. I feel like my brain has like reached capacity almost. Oh my god, this is just a lot. But yeah, I appreciate you. What's the time?
Listen, she's trying to get everyone lost plots and locked off out of it. No, you're right of this, innit? Yeah?
See you later.
Alright.
I feel like the UK Queen is an alien. Girl, you missed the real tea. The real tea is she is not real royalty, right? She's not, well, we all know like she's not of queenly energy and just how demonic the royal family is. But sis was telling us that Beyonce is related to the Queen. And you know what my theory is? Yeah, my understanding is that, yeah, I will. The Queen, all of them men, foxes just sound so weird. I can hear foxes screaming. The Queen, she must be having organ transplants and all kind of foolishness going on, because how would this woman, this old white woman, alive and in the state that she's in, my girl's not going anywhere. Beyonce, a whole man. Oh my God, I can't even deal. 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 All of them men related to someone in Europe. And I just, yeah, that's always been my theory. Like, how is this woman? Yeah. How old is she? She's in her 90s, right? She looks very scary, first of all. She looks her eyes are very scary. And, you know, these are essentially our portals into our soul. And they always say, you know, you can gauge someone's spirit and etc. by their eyes. Like, why does your eyes look so demonic? For no reason. My eyes are welcoming. My eyes are light. My eyes are happy. My eyes are enticing. They're pretty up. Hers are just demonic. They said me. Okay, listen. Paoli, why did you say that? Do you want to jump on live with me? Serena Williams. Nah, Paoli, you need to jump on after, because you need to back your chat. Everyone's come on and back their chat. Shrilly, how are you gonna request me and then deny me when I accept you? Okay, Paoli, I'm gonna add you. This is my Get Up Fabulous healer reader, psychic medium. Strilly, hey girl.
Hi, beloved.
How
What are you telling me?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hold on.
Okay, so Beyonce. What should I call her? Beyonce.
Yeah, hold on. My phone is acting. My phone is acting.
Closer.
Fuck.
But we're talking about people. Christian, we're currently talking about royal family, conspiracy theories, UFOs, aliens, Area 51, royal family, not so royal family, Beyonce being related to the Queen. Apparently, she needs to be referred to as Beyonce. I don't know. I never said it. Carly's here to explain why she called Beyonce.
I'm gonna explain very little briefly, yeah, real quick. Like, they be having subliminal messages. I don't know if you guys heard of hermaphrodite or something like that. That's what it's called. But that's basically, that's basically when you're born with like a dick and a vagina at the same time. And that's like a royal, like Anunnaki type. That's basically royal blood, you know what I mean? Like, back in the day, that was like the dealio. But yeah, quick little thing with Beyonce. But this Vogue, okay, this shocked me, because really and truly, they be getting like they be hitting you with the subliminals right in your face, but you're not really gonna see it. Like, are you seeing like His Royal Highness? Do you know what I mean? Just, I feel like that alone is just like, okay, hit you with the subliminals. But honestly,
If I were a boy.
I'm telling you, when you start deep in this shit, even Megan Thee Stallion is talking about it in her album. Like, she's going back and forth with Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez is a whole girl. Tory Lanez is he's a whole girl. It's the she. They're going back and forth. They're literally rubbing it in our faces. And it's crazy. If you listen to some of her songs, she's just talking about like it's like females wouldn't say certain shit. It's like when you're a female, you don't have to say that. Like certain things, like she'll be saying shit like I dress so good as a girl type shit. Like she'll be saying like just subliminal things along those lines and shit like that. And with Tori as well, she was like basically telling us that Tori is a fucking girl. Like even what's it called? What's her name now? Some other girl, she must have cussed Tori out because he wanted a threesome with another man. Like, listen, it's just too much. Like, come on.
The thing is that I saw you posting stuff about this, about the hermaphrodite and Megan being a man, and yeah, because then you put up the stallion, which is the male horse.
Yeah, the male horse.
Oh God, this
It's
is
just
a lot.
And it's like we need to like kind of stay protected, because at the end of the day, we're speaking about this, but at the end of the day, it's also a spiritual energy. Okay, it's like when you say C19, I don't even want to say C9. Do you know what I'm talking about? The age that we're in and what's going on, like the C19. Okay, basically COVID-19.
Oh,
you say COVID-19.
Yeah. No, I thought...
You say certain things now on the internet, and it's now like everything's censored. Basically, you say certain things and you're giving it clout. You say certain things, you're giving it certain energies. Say certain things, and like you're inviting that into like your aura, your space, like. And with me, what I've realized is that I ain't even gonna go into the hermaphrodites too deep, because I was generally getting spiritually attacked. I need that. Give me that.
Wait, what?
I was like, yeah. I was like, hold on. You know what? It's not even worth me blabbing my mouth about these niggas, because really and truly, I don't like. Why am I having the extra baggage from these guys? Like, it's not worth it. Do you know what I mean? If I was doing like, if I had a Patreon, then that would be calm to explain. But I'm not doing this shit on Instagram no more. Is what I realized. It's just like I'm very, very sensitive to like. I see spirits and shit like that. So it's like, you guys can have it. I'm still fucking with Megan's album. Shaggins.
No,
like,
you can't say no. Nate said, I've not heard anything substantial about Beyonce being a male though. And is it necessarily like male as we understand it? Like she's got a penis, or like...
It's both. It's both. You can have both. That's what you call a hermaphrodite. That's the royal blood.
Nate, she's not saying that she's a man. She's saying that she's a hermaphrodite.
And like, it's like, you can have the balance of the feminine and masculine with it, but it's like, it depends on what you want to tap into, I guess. But I guess,
Sage my phone.
Huh?
Oh, I was talking to myself. But yeah, so that's what you're saying about Beyonce.
Yeah, and it's like Jay-Z's a girl. Like, it's just deep. It's just so deep. Like, I'm gonna have to send you videos, Bliss. Like, there's this YouTube video, and this guy really breaks it the fuck down, like fucking 50 cents ago. It's just so much. That's what I'm like, you know what, with these celebrities, I ain't looking up to nobody, fam. I'm looking up to my big pussy energy. That's it.
Period.
Because at the end of the day, you'll be looking at them and then you're thinking, their work rate is on 10. Like, there's no, like, no. don't try. And it's not even about competing, but, like, don't, yeah. Stay in your own lane, because honestly, when you have that type of like energy and like you're born like that, there's certain energies and powers you tap into. I don't know if you've watched the Umbrella Academy.
I've heard of it. What is it?
It's basically where this guy, when it's basically these kids that get born out of nowhere, and I feel like it kind of like talks about like hermaphrodite, like kind of subliminally, like how that I think about it. It's like they're just born out of, like, their parents just have them out of nowhere without even having sex and shit like that. And then
What
it's
are they
like
called, sorry?
What?
What did you just say? You just said something. Have I heard of the Umbrella Academy? That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, and then they're born out of nowhere, and then it's like, okay, cool. These kids have really big superpowers, like they can shift like the weather and shit like that. Like, and this guy like kind of takes them in and like schools them to kind of be just thrive off their powers and shit like that. I just feel like that's kind of like with the hermaphrodites. Rihanna's like that as well. So it's like Jay-Z just found her out of nowhere type shit. Like he went overseas to go grab her. Like, so it's like our birth charts and our passports and everything is like there for a reason. It's to, you know what I mean, it's like a documentation of you, your life path number, and like I feel like they're just updating it every time with us having filters, having the eye thing and shit like that, like keeping up with people's energies. I don't know, this shit's so deep, my mouth hurts.
Listen, there's a whole heap of information that has just been shared in this live earlier. It was a lot. I didn't expect the conversation to turn out like this.
Like when I looked at the title, I was like, you lot are going in. It's like when I saw that you was on live and what it was about, I was like, I need to mentally prepare myself because like, you know, certain information that you just
now I know. Now it's like once you know, it's too late. You know now.
Yeah, you can't go back. Like once you go black.
Yeah. Literally. There was one guy, he was able to do remote viewing by meditating in a room. Also, while you're here, the 21st of December, are you aware what's happening in the universe?
I'm not sure.
With the age of Aquarius and the planets being in full alignment. This is what was spoken about earlier. She came on and explained the planets being in total alignment and the Earth's energy. She says a whole heap of stuff. I'm
gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Honestly, because when it comes down to astrology and shit like that, like I try my best not to get caught up in it, because it's like I want to be able to flow more than like be like, okay, this is gonna happen and this is that. Like I'd rather just
this is a big
when the day comes. The day comes. But yeah, Baphomet is on that shit. Like Baphomet is as above, so below type shit, basically all in one. Have you watched Sabrina's Teenage Witch? The Teenage Witch, like the real one on Netflix. That's
with the. Oh, I watched it when I was younger. So is that the real one, the first one?
No, the new upgraded one is so good. It's like on Netflix.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's so good. Really teaches you about like the occult, Baphomet, and shit like that, and like kind of having to like be on like both sides of the spirit realms type shit, like the good and the bad.
Yeah. Oh, child, this is a lot of information. I'm probably gonna.
It's a lot. My mouth hurts.
How do you think mine feels? I've been chatting away for 2-3 hours now.
Oh, your third eye is blinking out here, fam. Definitely have to take this info and I will probably journal how you feel.
There's a lot. I have to write down everything that I need to research and just have a moment to just sit in silence. The real one, I think, 3 black women in Salim. The real one, what's your
yeah. Oh shit, the real one. The black one. Brother Panic says Baphomet every 5 seconds. I didn't know. Why does he say that every 5 seconds? Some folks need to stop playing with spirits.
I believe we can all do that with due practice. They say that even though the government has all this innovative and advanced technology, they still use these people to find locations.
Yeah, the Age of Aquarius is all about technology. Like this technology game is up, but at the same time, those who are tapping in with themselves, they're gonna have their inner technology as well. Teleporting, all of that shit. I wish I could teleport. I'm trying to figure out what my superpower is. Like, yeah, I do readings, probably like seeing spirits.
That's
But I
definitely a
want to be
superpower.
invisible. Go grab some money at the bank. But
Lord, Lord. Well, every superpower comes with a condition, so to speak. So
facts.
you never know. Damn. Yeah, I need to check out this Brother Panic. Do you know Brother Panic?
I've
Are you
heard of
familiar with
him.
him?
I've heard of him, but I'm not too sure. Is
Ah,
that
I've
the one
heard of
with
Brother
3
Clyde.
girlfriends? Is Plight with the 3 girlfriends?
Yeah, that's
The
Brother
polygamy
Clyde.
page. Oh, I'm not sure.
Brother Panic is he seems like a different brother in totality. Like my man's talking about some serious stuff. So I need to look.
And then this is looking sexy, the book.
Thank you.
It's got the chains on, looking like a 90s babe. I just want geek. Period.
With power
Okay,
comes
send her money then.
with power
Cash
comes
out to her
great
then.
cash at me. Great responsibility. Oh, thank you for joining, my love. I'm probably gonna read a little bit more and then end the live. I'll save the live as usual.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, and stay protected, okay? Because these topics is not a joke.
Yes,
Okay, your phone might be blinging out of nowhere. You might have those agent type Instagram bots on your shit. So giving you a heads up.
Oh God. Dear God,
honestly,
we pray.
it's real.
But yeah, I've got my protection. My community's got my back, right?
Yeah, we got you. Turn post notifications on, bitch. I'm joking. You guys ain't bitch. You guys are real G's for being here.
All right, cool.
All right, then, love. Bye.
Damn, guys, this is a lot of info. All right, Nate, you can join. You can join. This has been a great conversation. Like, I've learned so much. I didn't even get to read as much. Hey,
you're right,
how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. I tried to.
I'm good. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I love these lives, honestly. I think all of us do. Thank you so much for putting them together. These are so insightful, so interesting.
Thanks.
You know, honestly, man. Large up my brother Gus for coming through. Shout out, bro. Honestly, really interesting, really insightful conversation. I just wanted to bring some light to the alien thing, just some perspective. So I thought it would be worthwhile to at least discuss just like the scale of like space and what we're talking about a little bit, right? So obviously, if we're talking about aliens, then we'd have to probably consider whether they come from our solar system or whether they come from outside of our solar system, right? Because in our solar system, obviously there's like, what, 8-9 planets. Of the 8-9 planets, and you know, they are close up, they're pretty close to us, do you know what I mean? Of the 8-9 planets, only a few of them have been known to have water, right? So I'm going to try and do this from memory. From the sun, right? The sun is like, obviously the sun. There's no aliens on the sun, yeah? We can agree, right? And then there's Mercury, which is right next to the sun, yeah? So Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. Mercury has no atmosphere, right? So Mercury has no water. Mercury's like, the sun is just beating Mercury. It's got no ozone layer. It's got an exosphere, which is like a really like light atmosphere, right? So I don't think there's any water on Mercury. Never has been. Venus is the next planet along, right? And Venus has an atmosphere, same as Earth, but because Venus is closer to the sun, that much closer to the sun than Earth is, Venus is like mad hot. Do you know what I mean? Like it, because obviously like it's like the greenhouse effect. The rays of the sun are going in, bouncing off, bouncing in, bouncing off. Do you know what I mean? And it's proper hot, like it's sweltering hot. There's like volcanoes, there's storms. The thing to know about Venus, however, is that obviously that wasn't always the case, because obviously the sun has developed over the years. Do you know what I mean? Over the how many years that it's been there, yeah? So there was a time where perhaps Venus could have been inhabitable by something that was living. There might have been water on Venus at one point, but there isn't right now. Oh, just an aside on water. Water is obviously H2O, yeah, which is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. Hydrogen is everywhere. Yeah, hydrogen is everywhere. The sun is made of hydrogen. Do you know what I mean? Like, hydrogen is everywhere. Hydrogen literally means hydro generator. Yeah. So it's literally like hydrogen is what makes water. So if hydrogen is everywhere in the universe, right, then water could be really and truly could be anywhere, right? Obviously, we have Earth. We know there's plenty of water here. There's an abundance of water here. And then after Earth is Mars. So Mars doesn't have much water, but Mars has like certain, I think the ice caps, the polar caps, they have like a little bit of like water in them. There's certain crevices they've got like ice on them. Do you know what I mean? Like when it gets really cold. Obviously, Mars is further away from the sun than Earth, so Mars is cold, even though it's red. Do you know what I mean? It's colder, yeah. So obviously it can have like ice on. Sometimes when it's facing the sun, the ice will melt and it will turn into water, and that's the thing that can happen. Obviously, again, back in the day, that could have been different because Mars specifically actually has valleys in it, which suggest that thousands of years ago there could have been loads of water on Mars. Do you know what I mean? Like Mars could have had like plenty of water. It could have running rivers and all sorts on it because Mars has actually got valleys that have been carved out by water. You see the valleys we have now. Do you know what I mean? Where the water's been there, it's been chewing away. That's what Mars has got. But obviously they're dry, yeah. Other than a couple of bits of ice on the top. What's after Mars? Is it Jupiter? Jupiter is mainly gas. So Jupiter doesn't actually, like the other planets have got like rock crusts, like Earth has got rock. Yeah, Jupiter is like mainly gas, but the center is made of liquid. I can't remember what the liquid is. I don't think it's water, but I know it's got like a liquid center. I don't think anything could really live, or anything that we know of, could really live on Jupiter. And same with Saturn, same deal with Saturn, largely gas. And the other three, I'm not so sure about. I know Pluto. Pluto is like, considered pretty much an asteroid because it's just rock and ice. So obviously, ice means what? Ice means water. But the other two, Neptune and Uranus, I'm not sure about. So that's the solar system, yeah? So if we're saying that aliens have come onto planet Earth, are we considering that they've come from within our solar system, or have they come from a distant galaxy, like another solar system? Like, when you look up at the stars, every single star is a sun. Do you know what I mean? So every sun, every soul has its own solar system. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's obviously like an abundance of places where they could have come from. Hydrogen is everywhere. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's really unrealistic for us to think that there's no such thing as aliens or there's no such thing as life outside of Earth. I spent the longest time thinking that if there was life outside of Earth, it would probably be bugs, like really more than like anything that like you said, the big head with the big eyes and the no genitals, and what I mean, they put them in like a glass tank. I feel like if it's anything, it will probably be more likely be like a bug. But now I'm not so sure, to be honest, because now I'm thinking hydrogen is absolutely everywhere, and there's a lot of opportunities for there's a lot of opportunities for water to exist pretty much anywhere in the universe. So I kind of just wanted to bring that in really as an option, as an opportunity, as like a bit of added info.
Yeah, I think that kind of put things into perspective a bit more as well, because no one really spoke about the solar system and beyond that. I can't even conceptualize beyond that. I can just about conceptualize the solar system. So it's definitely interesting, but it makes sense to me anyways. He said Jupiter, hydrogen, helium. You could see some familiar life. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I feel like accepting that there's other life is a step. whether people want to go into it deeper and look deeper, I feel like that's a whole different thing. And I feel like you can get stuck in that place in just the searching and the searching and the searching. It's a lot. It's like this. We could speak about this for like a whole week straight and still not even scratch the surface.
No, I do think that if aliens are coming to Earth specifically, because you know, again, it's quite egocentric of us to even presume that, you know, aliens are coming to Earth, really, you know, because there's a whole universe out there, and if there is life everywhere, do you know what I'm saying? Then why are they coming here for? What do we have? Maybe we have water, maybe we've got loads of water, do you know what I mean? Or I think someone mentioned earlier that we can mine gold here, and then only something that was with relating to the Anunnaki story, you know, that they came here to kind of mine gold and mine some of Earth's resources, which I think is, you know, also interesting. But you know, why only America? Or is it only America? Could it just be that like Japan are better at keeping secrets? Americans are loud. Do you know what I mean? Like, could it just be that, like, you know, could it just be that like British are more conservative? They're not really talking about what's going on. Americans just baited themselves up, and now they can't get out of it. They just got to say Area 51. Do you know what I mean? And like, no one's allowed, basically. And now all of these people are writing books and stuff. I've seen some mad stuff in the skies myself, but I can always excuse it away as maybe it's a drone, because obviously now they've got drones. You know, like anything is possible. I don't know if you've seen, there's like a TED talk on the flying machines of the future. So interesting, man. Oh my days. It's about drones. Yeah, it's like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops. He's talking about drones, and he gets like all these different kinds of drones. For me, the one that done it, there was one that fit in the palm of his hand. Yeah, and like and he flew up in the air, and it started buzzing around the audience, right? And then like a whole swarm of them came behind it, and they were all just like swarming around the audience, yeah. And then like they were all working together, like literally he threw like something in the air, like a string or whatever, and they tied it up. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was mad. Yeah, proper coordinated. He was like, no one's controlling them. We've input the data beforehand. They know what to do. They're feeling the weight. They're feeling this. They're feeling that. So I feel like right now, the way drones are set up, you know, like in real life, which you can see, the way drones are set up, that anything is, you can see something in the sky and you don't know what it is. That said, I do still, I don't think that, you know, we are the only life out here. Not at all. You know, I don't think we're the only life out here. It doesn't make sense because the universe is too big, it's too infinite for us to just be the only ones. But yeah, you literally could go on forever talking about what's out there. Do you know what I mean? Because there's just so much out there, you know, and we are so unfortunately currently uninformed, like miseducated. You know, like this information is not particularly new for us. You know, like this stuff is carved in the walls at pyramids. That's why you have, you know, like brothers like Brother Panic and, you know, all of them, they'll come and they'll talk about it because it is like ancient knowledge. It's knowledge that we had. It's knowledge that we knew. You know, you see like portraits of like weird looking UFO kind of type things. Do you know what I mean? And like reptilian animals and, you know, reptilian like people. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is information that we had. But it's information that you and I don't have as immediate access to anymore because obviously of the colonizers and what they've done. Do you know what I mean? With the information, they've come and basically hoarded certain esoteric information for themselves. They've filled our brains with shit, and you know, now we are kind of unlearning, which is why once again I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for your energy. I'm grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for your divine femininity. I'm grateful for you bringing this space and coming and doing this live. You don't understand how important this live is, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, just stuff like this is good energy for us who are just like indoors sometimes, and it's feeding the brain. So honestly, thank you. It's good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to ask you as well, because remember earlier I brought up about the world class seeing the extraterrestrial material crash into the ground. Was you here for that actually?
I don't think I saw. He said I saw. I don't think I heard you say he saw it crash.
No. So he saw it crashed already in the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was here for that.
Yeah. And I was basically saying, well, who was driving it?
Yeah.
and if someone was, and why do you think it's there, and
Yeah.
do you think it was intentional? Like, what did you think from
Yeah,
that
to
bit of the
to
book?
be honest, the options are limitless, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
first and foremost, you know, like, was it even real? Was it even a real thing? Like, you know what you were saying about secret societies and how the people at the bottom only know a certain amount and the people at the top know what's going on. You know, my man who discovered and wrote a book about this thing that he saw, did he even know what he saw? Do you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, right? Was it even placed there for people to kind of see it, and to go and tell everyone what they saw? You know, like, so they can spread misinformation. That's one thing. But that's just me being contentious and me being like, that's just me being contentious. I feel like to kind of hear things and just believe them. That aside, however, with regards to who was driving it, if it was real, if it was actually a thing that happened, and he did actually see this, and it was actually something that was like, you know, it wasn't placed there for him to see, and he actually saw it. Hey, 1987 is when I was born. Come on, woo, that's how we do. Listen, yeah. If he did see it, then it's very possible. Like, again, someone mentioned not Men in Black, actually. There's another one. Independence Day. Do you remember Independence Day?
I know it, but I won't remember it. No.
Okay. Basically, they take the main character down into some bunker underground, and they've got all these aliens like sitting in glass tubes where they've kind of like taken them out of the wreckages. They've carried them back to their, you know, to their warehouses, and that's where they're staying. So obviously, if my man saw the crash, or he saw the crash site, but even he said that, you know, there was no stage where two people knew the same thing. Do you know what I mean? That's what he said in that book. Yeah, he said there was no stage where like the people at the bottom knew what was going on up there, and they didn't know what was going on up there, and they didn't know what was going on up there. Nobody knew the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, he's not seen the pilots. The pilots could have been taken away by another group and brought back to the base, and that's where they're staying. You know, I think that if what he is saying is correct and it wasn't placed there, I would personally be more inclined to believe it was an extraterrestrial craft than something from like another nation. I think it would have come from outside of this planet for sure. I think it would have come from outside this planet for sure, and I think the pilots would have been taken away, and he would have given us the information, all that he knows. Do you know what I mean? What he saw, which was the actual material. I thought it was interesting that he said he tried to slice it with his pocket knife, and it didn't do anything, and it was thick as glass, but it was like polished and it was smooth, and he scraped it and nothing came. Yeah. That's proper interesting, you know, like to think that obviously the technology that's out there is so different from ours. You know what I mean? It's so like that's proper interesting to think.
That's what I meant by when I was saying about being able to like conceptualize it with like the human brain that we have now, the way we understand things as human now. Because if we were to experience, like, imagine receiving new material that you've never heard of, never seen, never touched, and it's not reacting in the same way that you would think it's reacting, and it's just like, it's almost like you're going to be high, like you're hallucinating. Because he said that it was basically like trying to cut glass with a feather. So that is how, and even like he keeps sort of reiterating like it's difficult to explain because there's no point of reference, right? You've never seen anything like this in your human life, so how can you even explain, do you know what I mean, it to be like something else? So yeah, I found that very interesting, and I just think that, like you said, even the fact that people in different levels knew different things, like there's just a lot that has happened. But obviously he died, right? William Keeper. Whoa, he was assassinated. He was something. In 2001, I think. So, you know, there's obviously, I mean, we don't personally have the evidence aside from like the letters and stuff that he's put in here, and the scans. But obviously, we weren't there to experience what he experienced. But you know, I definitely. This is more of a book that you like cross-reference. So if you have other information, then you can kind of like fact check it that way. But yeah.
Oh, back to you, Justin. Justin saying he wants to go to Vegas for an Area 51 trip. I'll definitely back that. But when you're saying that someone went there and got shopless, that's what you said, isn't it? That people go to Area 51 and they shoot you.
Yeah, if you go there, you trespass, they have rights to kill you. So and it's not even like you have to, even coming up to the Area 51, like the gates, they've already preed you from long time, so they already know. So
I didn't even think you could fly. I didn't think you could fly a drone over there. They'll just lick it out the sky.
It's definitely highly protected. The thing that I watched was on Netflix, but there's many other things. But they basically tried to go there as a people then, but you couldn't even go up to a certain point. Like the energy was just locked off straight from before. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if this man telling you to go as a white man, but a white man's experience and a black man's experience can be very different. So Nate, stay in the UK, okay? America is, before you even get to there, there's already got to be problems before you even get to Area 51.
100%.
But yeah, Area is very scary. Haven't really done my extensive research into it. Only surface, but yeah, man, I just wouldn't go there. This is certain things that's not for me to be doing, and that's one of them.
Justin's an original man, Justin.
Okay.
Yeah, Justin's an original man still.
Okay, good. Well, Justin, why do you want to go there? You have no business there. You send people to go there because you have to get send outs, you know.
What, to go to Area 51?
Yeah.
Just, I guess, out of curiosity, you know, like even me, I would be interested in going there and seeing what it is. But at the same time, I don't think you get very far, to be honest. I don't think you actually, realistically, I don't think you get very far. You wouldn't
No, unless you're gonna plan like a whole secret mission and you're willing to put your life on the line. If you guys want to see it, you have to be willing to put your life on the line. Basically. To actually see something, and this may not even be close.
I feel like the day will come, though. I really do, because I feel like this system that we're living under, this system that we're living in, is crumbling. You know, I've heard a couple of people mention the age of Aquarius, you know, and stuff like that. The system that we are in is falling apart. That's a fact. Yeah, we can see it happen. You look out the door. So I feel like really the time will come, probably even within our lifetime, where we can just bust there and check it out. I actually feel like that will happen. They'll just abandon it. Do you know what I mean? Because
there'll be nothing there, right?
Yeah, man. I feel like within our lifetime, we should be able to go and check out stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Until then, I guess you can live vicariously through people on the internet that have attempted. You don't need to go there. You just need to watch a movie. Interesting. And it's for tourists to go up the mountain.
Hey, Naledi.
He's talking about the mountain. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of the US in general, let alone going there, risking my life, my good up life.
Salome, how do you think technology will help? Salome said technology will help. What, to actually see what's inside Area 51?
I guess I took it as she was backing what you were saying about us, you know, the limitations changing, shifting. I took that as her saying like the technology will help that shift. So I guess in turn help us. Oh, if that's what you guys want to do, go to Area 51. I want to go to Africa. Area 51.
Yeah, facts.
But yeah, I mean, definitely out of curiosity, of course. I feel like that's your inner child coming out.
I'm an adventurer. I like to check things out. Do you know what I mean? I will be curious. I can't lie. Don't get me wrong. Africa is obviously
definitely. We're curious and kill the cat.
I'd be curious. I don't really have much business in America, truth be told, or France. I was about to say France.
That was right.
Or France, man.
Do you have personal beef with France or something?
Yeah, colonial tax. France are the ones that are drinking colonial tax from Africa. 400 billion pounds a year today. Do you know what I'm saying? Like today. Yeah, that's long. Fuck that. I don't want to go to France and spend money. Do you know what I mean? And pay their tax.
That's true.
Really and truly.
No
Yeah.
time for France. My friend wants to go.
No
to
time for
as well.
France. No time for France at all.
Um,
And America's the same. I don't really rate America, but still, I would. I feel like I would go there to check out. One thing I will say for France though is, like I feel like the scene, like the people that are on it, the people that are like they've got a revolutionary mindset. France are on it. Do you know what I mean? They're proper about it. Yeah, they're proper about it. They're quite militant up there because certain parts of like the hood in France is proper hood. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting. I didn't know that. Technology is changing so many things, so I doubt Area 51 is above change.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I feel like we overestimate this so-called technology. We used to be on some real sci-fi things in ancient times. I guess we just have like a different perception of what technology is than, you know, what it used to be. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
I appreciate you. But yeah, it was a good conversation. I didn't even get to talk about the AIDS. Funny enough, the page that I was just on, about revealed secret plan to tag every man, woman, and child. And then in his hand is tiny microchips containing transmitters could be injected painlessly in humans with small guns like this. And this is an article from, I don't even know when. This is a newspaper article, 1989 or something. And now this is kind of, you know, something that's been spoken about in recent years. Like the microchipping and just, you know, the ways in which it's getting there. It's already started, no? It's already started.
Yeah, it has already started.
You mentioned Wi-Fi in ancient times yesterday.
Yeah, at my event yesterday. I done my I done my Saji event. We got to talking about the you know, Cleopatra's Needle by the River Thames.
No.
Cleopatra's Needle, like the big massive pointy thing by the River Thames, big Egyptian thing. Nah, it's bait. Once you know it, you'll see it. Once you see it, you'll know it's there. It's been there, innit? It's been there. 100% worth checking out. Go down to the River Thames by Embankment, and there's a big ancient Egyptian monument called Cleopatra's Needle, and it was one of two. It's like an obelisk, you know, like what's outside Washington DC, and all of them. It's like a big, massive obelisk, but it's legit, you know. And yeah, and obviously like Napoleon came and robbed it from Africa and brought it back here on a boat and stuck it up by the River Thames, and there it is today, right? And we were talking about that yesterday at this event. I can't remember how we got onto it, but people were like, you know, what's it for? What is it? What does it do? And I was mentioning that they could have been like a way of connecting, sort of similar to Wi-Fi, similar to the Wi-Fi we have today, but they were like built, from what I remember, because it was a while ago when I was studying, so I was saying yesterday as well, it's been a while since I've kind of looked into this side of it, but like they're built on like ley lines and stuff like that, you know, so they have like they should have like an ability to kind of transmit energy, like big aerials, like massive antenna. They're big, massive obelisks.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Just like dotted around the world. Yeah, dotted around the world. And then obviously you've got like the pyramids, which are kind of like built the way they're built as well, to sort of receive energy. You know, and these were kind of similar because at the top of the obelisk is that pyramid shape. You know, so yeah, interesting. I can't remember, why did you bring that up there, Salome? I can't remember what you actually. Why you said that Nate brought that up yesterday.
Yeah. Salome brought it up.
I'm trying to see why. What were we talking about that made Salome bring that up? Was it
the shift?
How we're gonna fight back if we get to Area 51? That's what it was. How we're gonna fight back if we get to Area 51?
Because the guy, one guy in the chat, I don't remember who, but he brought up Wi-Fi being basically more developed in ancient times than it is now, and then she brought up.
Oh, okay.
Mentioned.
I missed that comment. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they was said. Damn, I need to write down all of these things. So Cleopatra's Needle.
Yeah, there's actually a company called Black History Walks, and
I know them.
Yeah. And they do like tours and stuff, and like they'll take you to different statues in London and be like, this statue was brought here by that person, and that person did this, and you know, there's a couple of them. You know, like Avril's Walks and Talks, she does them as well, but she does more like museum tours, but she also does some outside walks. But Black History Walks, I think, is the one specifically. They've got a walk, which I haven't been on this one, but they've got a walk where like you go and look at Cleopatra's Needle. And he showed us a picture of it on the walk that I went to. He showed us like a picture of it, of Cleopatra's Needle, and where the two pillars were there in Egypt, but now there's only one because obviously it was stolen. And you can see it's just there, like in front of the door by itself on the left, and there's not one on the right. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, that's the one that's in London. That's the one that's in London. And if you come on this tour, then I'll take you to see it. Well, obviously I've seen it plenty of times because it's just there in the middle of the road. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God.
It's there on the roadside. You've definitely seen it, Bliss. You've probably just not thought about it. You've definitely seen it. 100%. You're driving down by London Eye, yeah. You're driving down sort of probably on the other side of the Thames, but you're driving down by Embankment. You know that there's like a bridge where you cross over, and then when you get down the other side of the bridge, where are you? You are what's it called? Shit, I can't remember what it's called, man. I used to link my friends there all the time. I can't remember. But anyway, you're driving down the side of the Thames, not far from the London Eye, and you're seeing like you should be seeing like Egyptian stuff, just Egyptian stuff. Yeah. Right there. There's like a big, massive pillar. That is Cleopatra's Needle. It was taken from Africa by Napoleon and dropped off by the River Thames.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you guys. Yeah, I've seen this. Cause do you know what I drove past, because I work in Pimlico sometimes, so I've driven past and I've seen like these Egyptian things. Like, why are they here? I just thought, why are they actually here? Like, they're just here randomly. But I noticed the lions first.
The lions, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not the best. I need to zoom in. That is it. And then the two lions at either side, right?
That's the one. Literally, I'll go and sit on the bottom of that obelisk in Bonner Zoo. I've done it before. I've had a tarot reading at the bottom of that before.
What?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I need to go and check it out. Okay. And then it's got all the hieroglyphics on it, right? Oh my God, how the hell did they get that over here?
Yeah, by boat. Napoleon. That's why he's in Trafalgar Square.
Oh my God.
Well, that's not why he's in Trafalgar Square, but he's in Trafalgar Square as well, you know, but him.
And they just propped it up there randomly. Like,
you know? You know?
So does it have it written on it like it was captured by Napoleon? Because it's got some writing.
I don't remember, to be honest. I don't actually remember.
Oh, a worthy memorial of dumb, distinguished I've zoomed in. I can't read it properly because it's got writing on the bottom. Damn. No, I need to go and see these things because people just you don't even be knowing. Like, you don't even be knowing. I mean, they would have bloody brought the pyramids over here if they could. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. But honestly, man, it's disgusting. That's why I swear to God, even fuck this country as well. This one, France, like Justin said, man, pretty much most of Europe, all of Europe. The fuck, where in Europe is not fuck youable, literally. Where in Europe is not fuck youable? There's nowhere. Fuck you, Europe. There's nowhere. There's nowhere.
I second that. Yeah.
There's not one place.
Yeah. Because Kemet gave a lot to our modern civilization. Yeah, so I guess that's answering the question before, why are they there? There are pyramids in different cultures all over the world, by the way. Yeah.
That is a fact, sister, because obviously, I'm presuming you know of who wrote They Came Before Columbus now.
Ooh, I remember that.
He speaks about how, you know, like Africans traveled the world, obviously long before you know, like European civilization started to travel. They've been traveling the world. They've been traveling, dropping off fucking Olmec heads and shit. Do you know what I mean? So absolutely, there's pyramids everywhere. They taught people culture. They taught people, you know, like science and math and etc. etc. So absolutely, and at the same time as well, obviously the way that things work in nature is, you know, is like things tend to spring up in more than one place at once. That's another thing that happens quite naturally, you know. So like Ivan Van Sant, thank you, brother. I knew it. I was proper like, how can I forget this guy's name? It's so annoying. Thank you, Gus. Thank you. Yeah. So oh shit, what was I saying? Yeah, I think that was it. They came before Columbus, that's it. So obviously that's why, because the sister said that there are pyramids all over the world. There are pyramids all over the world. And as a matter of fact, the more you dig up history, you know, anywhere, the blacker it will get. That's just how it's always been. Do you know what I mean? Anywhere you go, the more you dig, the deeper you dig, the blacker it will get. So yes, you'll find pyramids. You'll find all sorts of remnants of African culture all over the world, because obviously African people been traveling. Look at me and you. Do you know what I mean? Like I am an explorer. If I was not born in this circumstance, yeah. If I was born, me personally, yo, look at Salome. If Salome was born maybe like a few thousand years ago, yeah, deep in the heart of say Kenya. Do you know what I mean? Why not? The way she'd be like born and looking straight up at the stars, yeah, she would know astrology on a different level. Do you know what I mean? Like on a completely different level from like what we can even think of today. Because if she was just born in that culture, looking at the stars, everyone knows the basic stars. Do you know what I mean? It's common, and then that plus her already extreme interest in it, she's gonna take it to the next level. Do you know what I mean? Me too. Listen, if I was born in a place like that, you know, so it's not really too far-fetched for me to kind of understand that there were genius astrologers, do you know what I'm saying, that were there, yeah. This nonsense DBDB that we have today, you know, it's like okay, thank you, I hear you, but you know, really any information that I can find from history for me is going to trump anything that I hear from modern civilization, because people were clever, man. Do you know what I mean? Genius, intelligent, geniuses.
100%.
Salome, facts, exactly. You know, 100%.
Being serious astrologer. But
A serious astrologer. Do you know what I mean? A serious astrologer. And if you the reason I brought that up is because I was gonna say as well, like me, I'm an adventurer. So you're telling me, yeah, black people were the first people on earth, everybody can agree, yeah. And what they didn't explore, they just chilled. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, look at the water. Okay, that's the end. Yeah, we're just gonna stay here. We can't go past that force field. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like day one, day two. Me, I'm out there. What's going on? What's over there? I know I haven't even finished looking over here. I'm going to check that out. Do you know what I mean? So really and truly, you know, I think just when you understand yourself and you understand you, then you will understand, like, you know, why there are remnants of African culture all over the world, you know, that predate everything non-African. Justin says it's a flat earth. Justin, don't draw me up, please.
And I have my own theories of the earth.
I can't, man. I can't deal with a flat earth, actually. I've heard a lot of logical reasonings on the flat earth topic, but for me, I can't untune from, you know, like everything else that we can see is spherical. The moon, I spend a lot of time looking at the moon. Do you know what I mean? I spend a lot of time looking at the moon. I spend time looking at the sun, you know, and now give thanks, I spend time looking at Venus. Do you know what I mean? And nothing that we see is flat. For the earth to be the only flat thing, like, it doesn't, for me, it doesn't make sense in terms of like the actual composition of the solar system, the composition of like just nature. It for me, it defies logic. For me, it defies logic, because nothing else is flat. Everything else is spherical. Everything else that we can see, everything moves in cycles. Everything is round. Everything. Look at the atom. Do you know what I mean? Everything like is spherical, moves in cycles like that. So
Mm-hmm.
From my hair, flat Earth, I'm just like, boy, okay. You know, like I said, I've heard there are some intellectual people who believe it. You know, so me, I'll never talk like I know everything because I'm always open to learn. But at the same time, for me, currently, that is the height of nonsense.
Mm-hmm. See, my understanding is that, because I've always asked this as a child, that I was like, are we on the earth or are we in the earth? Right. And Snapchat, like a couple years ago, they put up the it's not, I don't know if it represents the whole flat earth community, but basically it has like the earth, like as in like the land, the grass, the actual earth, and then underneath it had like the, I guess, the ice, the water, etc. And then it had the people them living here, and then it had the atmosphere. So it was like still a sphere. Yeah, it was still a sphere. So it wasn't necessarily like, because I've seen other drawings of flat Earth, and it's just like literally flat land, and then it has the little diamond shape, but there's no like globe to sort of bring it together. So that's like how I've understood it. So it's still like within a globe, but I've just that's just how I've envisioned it
I
to
suppose
be.
another thing to remember is that the length and width of, like, the diameter of the Earth is encoded into the length and width of the pyramids of Giza. You know, they are the same diameter. Like, I think it's like the length divided by the width, or vice versa. I can't remember, but it's like that is the diameter of Earth. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like it's been known that the Earth that we are living on is spherical. It's been known, but obviously then there was the Dark Ages. You know, there was you know, like, yeah, there was the Dark Ages where I think people kind of got a bit stupider, and went on the Crusades, which we spoke about earlier. We spoke about lizard people earlier as well, Justin. Actually, we did speak about lizard people. In depth. This is a good live, actually. We've covered a lot of esoteric information.
A lot of stuff. See, I was told that the eclipse isn't the shadow of the Earth. I was told that it's not that.
What do you mean?
So you know when the moon eclipses?
Yeah.
Because Salome said that's proof that the Earth is round, because that's the Earth's shadow. But that wasn't my.
What were you told it was? What did they say it was?
I can't remember. It's just, this is years ago, but I can't remember. I wish I could, but
honestly, photographers they've got a lot of like good reasons to explain everything. They can explain gravity. They can explain you know, like all sorts, man. Do you know what I mean? They can explain the seasons. They can explain everything in like their own way. But yeah, I think there comes a point, in my opinion, where you're kind of trying to go against what you can clearly see, in favor of maybe just trying to think differently, or trying to think too much outside the box. You can see that everything you can see, you know, like you can do math and you can actually like see, you know, the distance from Earth to Venus. You can see the distance. Do you know what I mean? Like we've actually never been so stupid that we were not capable of doing that. We have always been intelligent enough to do that, you know. It's just now that has been that information has been externalized to the point where it's on a computer, and we don't have it. Do you know what I mean? We don't have it, but that information I think has always existed. Like you can see how far Earth is from. You can see the math. Do you know what I mean? Based on the moon's orbit, you can calculate how far away it is from Earth. Based on its orbit, based on its mass, you can calculate how far away it is from Earth with your brain. Do you know what I mean? The same with Jupiter. Based on its orbit, based on its mass, you can watch Jupiter and say, okay, you know, you do your, okay, it was this many degrees, and then you come back in a month, okay, it was that many degrees, and you can say, wow, he's moving quite slow, okay, and then you can kind of gauge, you know, like its size based on its speed or whatever. You can see the distance. Do you know what I mean? You can. It's just math. That's all it is. It's just like physics. It's just math, and these are things that we had, like obviously like an innate knowledge of, you know, like because we have always been interested in learning interesting things. Do you know what I'm saying?
And one more thing to add to that. So obviously in news, they have changed the shape of the earth like 3 times, is it? It was like a pear, and then it was just like this
A pear.
like pear shaped. Yeah, like they changed the shape. Like it had a little bit of a booty. Like it wasn't always like
Wow.
a space bit. And my thing is, like, to my understanding, there's no real pictures of the earth, which is something that I came across a couple of years ago. But then as I was looking into it, yeah, so you know, it changed shape, and over the years you can see that it changes, even in just a hue, and just like the water being here, the water being there. It's not something that I really focus on now, because there's so much other things to focus on and be interested in, but you know, it's something that I'm definitely open to both sides. But what makes sense, like, to me rationally, like I said, I'm an earth sign, like I need some sort of, like, it needs to make sense, it needs to make material sense. But yeah, because I just never as a child just could conceptualize, like, do we live in the earth and then the earth goes around us, or do we live on the earth and then, do you understand? So that's always been like something that I've just never been able to conceptualize as a human being. I think I have a special brain. But yeah, the earth is somewhat spherical. The atmosphere provides shape for the water it holds. Ooh. That's a good way of explaining it. LOL, no one knows for certain. I guess it's based
We
on...
spoke about the Queen, Justin, and her, you know, paedophilic ways. She's eating children, adrenochrome, all of that came up. Yeah, man. Do you know there was actually like a lawsuit against the Queen? Yeah, true story. Because like a group of children went on like a school trip and disappeared, and they sued the Queen and they won. Do you know what I mean? That was like a lawsuit, and it was like it was in the paper, and you can Google it and see it. Do you know what I mean? Like these children went on a trip, and then never came back, and that was it. And that was, I think, like that's probably where some of the rumors started. You know, with like, okay, people like, nah, the Queen's out here eating children. She's definitely out eating children. Like you said earlier, how is she this dusty old white woman living that long?
How?
You know, how hunched over with her eyes, man. Her eyes are fucked. Do you know what I mean? And you can see it. You look at her eyes and you're like, no, she's not okay.
She's not.
Like,
She's not.
What is going on with your spirit? You know, something is wrong.
Very wrong. Very wrong. Like, and the other guy, the guy that died.
I was just about to say, the other guy, man.
What's his name?
I don't know. He looks like a fucking vampire. That
and
one.
He was like 101 or something.
Oh my god.
And I'm like,
it's a mess.
This is how you know, like, they're so individualistic. It's like they really are very material, and they want to be on earth for as long as possible. Like, that's why. Like, and the fact that you have to do things and, you know, do these alterations for you to extend your life and eat children and drink this children's blood and just have these organs, you know, transferred, and like, why are you trying, like, let your generations flourish? You know what I mean? Like, it's very selfish.
She's not even drinking steamers.
Exactly. It definitely ain't steamers, I'll tell you that much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't associate myself with whatever they're drinking, but that's not normal. Like, especially for a white woman and an old white woman. Like, it's not like she's this melanated woman, and do you know what I mean? Or at least this Asian woman, because I know they be breaking world records. But like, what is very scary, very scary. No super plants in their diet. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what is the Queen even eating? Like, does she even eat? Is she even human?
You know,
like,
breatharian.
Breatharian, literally. Like she could be comatized for all we know now if they turn her on when she comes out to play. And
I know. This is why a lot of people say she's a clone. People talk about cloning as well. Do you know what I mean? Because like, not her, but the guy we were talking about, that prince who looks like he's dead. Sometimes he'll come and and you see him and he looks different. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, the guy is still alive.
He's alive.
Prince Harry. Isn't it Prince Harry?
Not Harry. Harry's the you, innit?
Harry's the young
Harry and
one
William,
that
the
everyone
young ones.
likes.
No, I'm talking about the old man, the one with liver spots who looks like Mr. Burns. He's like the old one. Him. Like
I was
sometimes he'll
thinking,
come
yeah,
out and he looks different. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine if you saw that old couple like walking down the
Philip.
road all slow and crippled. Philip, yeah, that's the name. I would be terrified. I would actually be terrified if you saw these people.
I'm terrified, man. I'm crossing. If I got my children, I'm crossing the road. I'm crossing the road, mate. I'm telling you. Don't even look at them with that evil gaze. What is that? That vampiric.
Prince Philip, he's still alive. No, it was a part. He was even Rothschild. He died recently, like, I mean, in a couple, like, recent years. And he was 100 and something, and he looked like the devil, like. But I can't remember his name. He was a Rothschild or a Rockefeller, but I'm sure he was a Rothschild. Not David Rothschild. I mean, I've been trying to find this guy for time, and it's really bugging me. Let me check. And I was like, nah, that is not normal.
Hey, Kemi.
Yeah, that if I saw the Queen, I would not.
Yeah.
That is
Driving
not
on a
like
golden
ill.
chariot.
This guy,
You
David
see?
Rockefeller. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Rockefeller, yeah, Rockefeller,
David,
yeah.
Are you
The
kidding me?
Rockefellers are another one, man. The thing is, they got the P.
He was
Same with the Queen.
101. He was 101. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they got the money, man. They got the money. They got the money to be living like that.
Man was 101. What business do you have?
See, like, Ace
what
has dropped
business?
another one. Look, she's saying she's surviving off them Henrietta Lacks cells. Definitely.
What's
Definitely.
that?
That's what they're doing. You know, they're eating their Henrietta Lacks, the immortal cell. That's a book I need to read, actually.
Oh.
That book looks really good. And I know Black Child was selling it, and I didn't pick it up. And I regretted it that day, because that's a good-looking book. The Immortal Cells of Henrietta Lacks.
Henrietta Lacks was an African-American woman whose cancer cells are the source of the HeLa cell line, the first immortalized human cell line, and one of the most important cell lines in medical research. So they're selling her cells.
Yeah, without her, like, she got no money. Her family have no money. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
they just teethed it and sold it, because that is what they do, Bliss. You know,
this is not even on like a conspiracy website. This is on Wiki.
No, Henrietta Lacks. This is common knowledge. Yeah.
Oh
She had immortal cells, you know, and it was like a medical marvel. They were like, wow, this is amazing, and they just teeth it. That's it. And made P off of it. And do you know what I mean?
Cloning, G mapping, in vitro fertilization. So how did she die? Oh, she died of cancer 60 years ago, but her cells were taken without knowledge or consent and are still alive today. Oh my God. Yeah, and then the book, Rebecca Scott. Oh my God. What? Listen, just protect Black women, please, because this is scary. It's funny that became the topic of this. I've never even heard of. Obviously, I knew they were selling like melanin and stuff like that and organs, but I never heard of cells, and I never heard of Henrietta. They killed her.
There's a book called the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, or the Immortal Cells of Henrietta Lacks, or something like that.
Yeah, The Immortal Life.
Immortal Life, which I really want to read.
Damn.
Which I really want to list. I've got so many books added to my list, man.
Oh my God, there's just too many. Like
so many. There's so many.
Why is there so many books?
Yeah.
You heard of? Yeah, I've heard of stem cells.
Come on, Ace. I thought you were gonna jump on, man. What's going on?
I know, right?
Have you got energy, Bliss?
Barely. I told him earlier, but he didn't say anything. This was earlier.
He said he was going to get his notes. I was looking forward to it, man.
Oh, so that I didn't know he meant like. I thought he meant
he said he was going to get his notes. I was like, come on, let's see, let's get.
I thought he was going to to write notes. I didn't know he was going to. Oh snap! Yeah, I've heard of stem cells, but never Henrietta. Poor Henrietta.
Yeah, Henry is important. Did you take the you took the Black History Study course, the first one? Because you mentioned to me taking the second one together. Do you remember? So you've taken the first one already, right?
Yeah, but I
Yeah, you
didn't.
mentioned it there.
No, unless I missed the class. But
You
the
mentioned it
classes
there.
that I missed were Black psychology and one other class. But no, they didn't speak about her.
Oh, you missed a couple of classes. Okay, oh, they might have then. They definitely mentioned it. 100%, 100%.
Yeah, so
Mentioned
maybe
Henry.
they mentioned it in the classes that I missed, unfortunately.
Okay, that was a good course though. Have you taken the advanced one yet?
No. Do you know what's
man.
funny? I have my folder right there. I brought out my folder because I wanted to go back and
Did you?
research into the stuff. Yeah, but I haven't done the advanced one. No, I feel like I need to do the first one again because I'm looking at it
No,
from, like,
what do you mean? Come
different
on.
eyes.
You'd be fine. You've read, like, because you've kept on reading since, do you know what I mean? It's not like you stopped reading. You carried on reading. So that's the basics, man. You've got that pattern. I want to do that. So I've done a couple of Robin Walker classes, like courses. I've done history and music. That was really good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have so many. I'll think
So
about doing the advanced one. I'll see.
Ace
A
is
lot
saying allow
going on
me.
with the stem cell.
Ace is saying allow me. All right, Ace, I'm gonna let you off.
With the stem cell discussion, who were they getting the cells from? Oh my God, I can't even deal. It's just
Wasn't it children they were getting the stem cells from? Have I got that wrong?
I think he's referring, Black women and children, no? Is that what he was referring to, Henrietta?
I don't know. Maybe he's mentioned, maybe
what do you think about
he gets deeper.
Scientology?
Scientology is another one, man. Scientology is nuts.
What is Scientology?
It's like a belief that energy, basically God is energy. It's like a big ball of energy in the sky. Maybe not in the sky, but just like a ball of energy. And you can harness that energy. They use like a system called Dianetics, which is basically like, from my understanding, because I didn't go super deep into it. I just went into like my religious curious mind. Do you know what I mean? Wanted to check it out and see what it was about. They use this thing called Dianetics, which is basically like chi, like transfer and healing, and do you know what I mean? Where they kind of just like move your energy, and it's interesting. Like I think they've had a lot of celebrities join. Like Tom Cruise was a Scientologist. He was like a bait one. And there's like loads of bait Scientologists, and they say weird things. They say a lot of weird things. But I think at their core, they believe that they believe in energy being kind of like God. And like the movement and transfer of that energy.
Oh God, there's a lot. I mean,
there's a lot.
I've been online for 196 minutes, so there's a lot of information.
Your brain, man. Listen, you've taken on a lot today. This was a heavy one. I think I caught most of it.
Yeah.
This was a heavy one. Yeah.
Heavy.
And that book really had no pictures. It was that deep.
This book is a lot.
That's why we're grateful. This is why I'm saying thank you, because honestly, it's important that you know, man. You don't understand. It's important that you know. Like us in the chat, this is your community, yeah, and your community is grateful for your presence. Your community is grateful for your input. Your community is grateful. It's grateful for your essence. It's grateful for your spirit. I am grateful that you're doing these lives. Look at the people in the comment section. Everyone's happy. Everyone's like, give thanks, Bliss. We love you, Bliss. You're amazing, Bliss. And Ray as well. I know this is different. I know the one you do with Ray is different. But honestly, man, more than once I've kind of said the right thing, and I'm like, yeah, good. I think it's good to have like Black women, pro-Black, do you know what I mean? Like that are coming and talking the things, and you're not like, it's good to kind of be around that energy. And obviously British as well, British accent. It's not like, American, it's not like, it's not so disconnected. Yeah. It's like, cool, okay, boom, you're down the road, and I can hear you saying, like, yes, I've read that book. Oh yeah, I know that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like there's the connectivity. That's what I mean. Like we need to, that's why, I still talk how I talk, because it's familiar in my community at least, and I don't really hear people on the internet that speak like me, talking about the things that I talk about, talking the things that we talk about. So
No.
It's good, man. Same way. You're doing great, sweetie. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for joining. Obviously, outside is open now, but I'm waiting for outside to to permanently open so we can have another event. It'd be nice
Come
to
on.
get everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to smoke, chat about whatever. But
Will
yeah,
there be
something
food?
more.
Of course there'll
And
be
then,
food.
of course, there'll be food.
You know, come on.
Listen, whenever like a girl's gonna be interested in you, definitely. If you ladies are watching this and you're interested in Nate, definitely the way to his heart is food. Like, I've never met someone so obsessed with food. Like, and I know a lot of people that love food, but Nate is different level.
I love food.
Different
And me, I
level.
can cook, yeah. So don't come with no dry beans on toast and think that's
Yeah,
it. That's
you
not
need
the
to
game.
be like
That's not the
30,
game. Do you
30.
know what I mean? That's not the game. Me, I cook properly. So
You need
I
to be
cook like
30.
someone who loves food. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do you
they
know what I'm
need to be
saying? So
30.
listen.
But yeah,
Yeah, your
thank
next
you,
event's gonna be lit, man. I
everyone.
can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
And
looking
yeah,
forward to it.
podcast is on Tuesday. Divine masculinity, that's the topic because we touched on the ladies. So this week will be divine mask. So everyone, if you would like to join on Thursday, the podcasts are actually up on
Tuesday, you
Apple,
said Tuesday.
Spotify. Tuesday, sorry, it's late. But yeah, thank you guys. This is gonna be uploaded on here, and I'll upload it on YouTube as well. It's just easier to watch via YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate you, Nate, for jumping on. I appreciate everyone for chiming in. Loads of gems dropped. Like, oh, this live just exceeded my expectations. Make sure you guys support everyone that joined. Intelligent people, big up yourselves. And yeah, podcast note is Tuesday and Thursdays.
So
But
the
the
divine
main day
masculine
is
is
Thursday.
Tuesday. The masculine one is on Tuesday.
Yes, on Tuesday.
What's the Thursday one?
I don't know yet. We haven't decided yet.
You're doing them both of them with Ray?
Yeah, they'll be with Ray.
What day is it today? Today's Sunday, yeah? So what, are you doing like reading every Sunday now as well?
Yeah. So we have to, I'll put up next week's one book throughout the week to see what you guys think. I'll see. But yeah, podcast Tuesday. So I'll meet you guys on live Tuesday. It'll be via my live, this live. But yeah, everyone have a nice evening.
Yeah.
And big up yourselves. Again, thank you, Nate, for joining.
Thank you, Bliss, for hosting. We love you. You're the best. See you later.
Bye. Thank you, everyone that joined. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Have a nice evening.